From the start, their potential was easy to see. Their future wasn't. Lofty dreams are reached over solid ground. Through twists and turns, ups and downs, the road can lead you to your goal.
The Tigers reclaim their crown.
The same passion, two paths to one place. Here, at the helm of teams that believe in them, that are led by them.
And he will dive for the end zone.
Into a challenge earned through effort and will.
Buckeyes can do no wrong. And this is a beatdown.
With the chance to climb the final hill of a long and hard-fought campaign. This is the game they pretended to play as kids. Today they play it for real as young men in the college football playoff.
And welcome to the Silver Spaceship in the Arizona Desert, the college football playoff semifinal at the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. And tonight's historic first ever collision of 13-0 teams. The Clemson Tigers, champions of the ACC, the Ohio State Buckeyes, champions of the Big Ten. This is the Booking.com kickoff. The winner punches a ticket to New Orleans, where LSU awaits the Bayou Bengals overwhelming Oklahoma this afternoon in Atlanta, a game no doubt most of you saw. And welcome to Glendale. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Maria Taylor, and Tom Rinaldi will join us. So grateful to be able to call our 11th college football playoff game. The winner here has got a big challenge, Kirk, because what we just saw down there with LSU and Joe Burrow overwhelming the Sooners. Burrow, 7 touchdown passes in the first half alone.
Yeah, I mean, they have been the most complete offense that I think I've ever covered in college football. What Joe Burrow's doing, how quickly he's processing coverage and delivering the football. Whoever wins this game, it'll be fun to hype that game up when we see them on the 13th in New Orleans.
Fun will be the word in New Orleans with the Bayou Bengals there, undefeated. But if there's one offense that can maybe match LSU in production so far this year, it's Clemson. And is there one quarterback that you trust more in a playoff environment than Trevor Lawrence, who's never lost as a starter and never thrown a pick in a postseason game?
Yeah, he comes in. He's kind of been there and done that, has that approach to the game, playing with a lot of confidence right now. There was a lot of talk early in the year. Expectations almost unrealistic. I think he was pressing early. In fact, he would tell you that he was. At one point, middle of the year, he settled down. Look at the last 6 games. 20 touchdowns, no interceptions. And when you ask him why that is, he said, man, I just started taking what the defense gave me. I didn't try to make those big plays. And I think the Clemson offense got into a rhythm with their running back, Travis Etienne, the throwing a game with Lawrence and those great receivers that they have. They're a very balanced, explosive attack. And Ohio State's defense, which has been great all year, will be a fun matchup to see how they try to defend them.
I sure will. And Buckeyes better be alert and ready from the start, because Clemson has been starting fast. But the guy who's going to try to make his night miserable is Chase Young. He's been the premier pass rusher in the sport. He's the most decorated defensive player in the sport. Kirk, he's had a quiet last couple of games, but you could feel his pent-up energy this week. He's so eager for tonight.
Yeah, Michigan and Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship did a good job of neutralizing him. A lot of quick throws, a lot of double teams. We were with him just a couple days ago. The look in his eyes, he's eager. He's excited to be a leader for this defense. And the big thing is, he's had a great individual year. I mean, you look at all these awards that he went on to win. He set a single record for Ohio State, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, an All-American. He was in New York with you, Chris, at the Heisman Trophy, won the Bednarik Top Defensive Player, the Nagurski. He's done a lot, but his main goal is not the NFL, not those awards. It's winning tonight and trying to get this team to the national championship. He's going to have to be spectacular, disrupting the Clemson offense.
16.5 of their 51 team sacks, only allowed 7 touchdown passes all season. Meanwhile, the fellow Heisman finalist, the quarterback for Ohio State, Justin Fields, for the first time in his career is dealing with an injury. He's got a left knee MCL sprain, the brace is on it. I think the brace is on his knee, Kirk, but maybe in his head as well.
Yeah, first of all, you see the numbers, 40 touchdowns, 1 interception. That trend will have to continue for Ohio State to try to score with Clemson. The brace is interesting. He said he's going to have to go with a bigger brace to give him that stability. He's concerned that it may restrict him as far as his ability to run. And Ohio State needs him to be involved in their running game to go along with J.K. Dobbins and what he can do, but also the creativity. Brent Venables will create some pressure on third down, come from a lot of different places. His ability to scramble and run will be a big part of the Ohio State offense. We'll have to kind of keep an eye on that knee and that brace and how it affects him.
Well, Trevor Lawrence and Clemson have been the more dominant team. There's 8 straight wins by 30-plus points. You have to go back to the late 1800s to find another team that's done that. Their 5th straight appearance in the playoff. Winners 2 of the last 3 national championships. Lost a championship game on this field to Alabama, but of course shut out the Buckeyes. All 3 previous meetings have been in the postseason. All 3 have been Clemson victories, including that very humbling game just a few seasons ago for Ohio State. The slight favorites tonight, say the odds makers. Whenever a championship is on the line, the Tigers wear those orange breeches. Clemson fans slightly outnumbered by the Buckeye Nation in here tonight, but still many have made the cross-country journey to support their team. Haven't lost a football game since the semifinal stage 2 years ago to Alabama, before Trevor Lawrence came along. Isaiah Simmons, the leader of that Tigers defense. Ryan Day, spectacular in his first full season as head coach, 16-0 as the boss of the Buckeyes. And the Buckeyes bringing a 19-game winning streak, have not lost since October of last year at Purdue. Tonight, he says they are the hunter. Clemson has what we want. They're used to being the hunted. We hope you're ready. The undefeated Buckeyes, the undefeated Tigers for a slot in the championship game coming up from Glendale. And welcome back to the Booking.com kickoff. Just minutes away from Clemson and Ohio State, with LSU awaiting the winner. Defending national champions Dabo Swinney with Maria Taylor.
Thanks, Chris. Coach, you said that early momentum will be a key in a game like this. How do you generate that to start out this matchup?
Well, you got to execute. You got to just, settle in early. Both teams will fill each other out early, but just execute. That's the main thing. Just settle and keep your breath, slow your breathing down, and just do what we've done in practice.
All right, thanks for your time.
You got it.
Some of those Clemson seniors, 54 wins in their careers, just 3 losses. An SEC crew in charge of this game tonight. Ken Williamson is the referee.
Gentlemen, welcome to the 2019 PlayStation Fiesta Bowl and college football semifinal playoff. My name is Ken Williamson. I'll be the referee today's ball game. Tom Quick, our umpire, will be assisting me during the coin toss. You're the home team today, Ohio State, wearing dark jerseys. Clemson, you'll be wearing white. For the coin toss, we're going to use this Fiesta Bowl commemorative coin. The head side will will represent heads. The logo side will represent tails. You're the visitor. Clemson, you call the toss. What's it going to be? He's calling heads. What is it? That's heads. It means you've won. You may kick, receive, defend, or defer. You want to defer? You want the ball? Which way you want to kick? Okay, put your back around there, please. Clemson has won the toss and will defer their choice of options to the second half. Ohio State has chosen to receive with the first half option.
Nothing but wins for Ryan Day in his 16 games as the Ohio State boss. The 40-year-old head coach of Ohio State is with Tom Rinaldi.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Ryan, Justin Fields, that big brace through all practices. You saw him warm up. What do you need to see him do early on that tells you he's ready?
Yeah, he'll make great decisions. His knee's in good shape. Just has to get in the rhythm of the game. It'll be fast early, but he'll find it.
Final message as your team came out.
Just be bold and aggressive. It's a great atmosphere. Enjoy it. We don't want this thing to end, so go get them.
Good luck to you. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Chris.
Tom, thank you. Quiet moment for Chase Young. These two quarterbacks in the game grew up about 20 miles apart in the state of Georgia. Booking.com bringing you the look at Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. Again, Lawrence undefeated as a starter. Tremendous play in the postseason, but Fields has been incredibly impressive in his first year as a starter.
You remember a game that you and I have called where both quarterbacks come in undefeated?
No, not this late
big stage. Yeah, incredible.
Different personalities. Lawrence, of course, has been there, done that. Fields has waited with this opportunity. He said he expected Ohio State to be here. He wasn't sure that individually he would have the kind of year that he's had. How can you imagine 40 touchdowns, one pick? It's impossible.
Yeah. The thing that stands out is the poise that both guys play with, being able to handle a big stage like this.
We will see Fields and the Buckeye offense up first. Clemson deferring after winning the toss. B.T. Potter, effective kickoff man, doesn't allow too many returns. DeMario McCall deep for Ohio State. The Bayou Bengals await. Tigers and the Buckeyes ready to get it on. McCall will make a fair catch. And Justin Fields tells you about some of his attributes.
I'm Justin Fields, 6'3", sophomore from Kennesaw, Georgia. I transferred from the University of Georgia. This year for Ohio State, I've thrown 40 touchdown passes with only 1 interception.
The stat line is incredible. We'll keep Kirk a very close eye on that left knee and see how involved he'll get in the running game. How much do they trust the knee?
Yeah, that and I think trying to just get him to settle into the game early with the play calling by Ryan Day against a very aggressive defense.
They're throwing on first down, and K.J. Hill has it. And the steady senior picks up 9 yards on first down. Here are the Chick-fil-A impact players, Kirk.
Yeah, well, besides Fields, of course, we talked all week about J.K. Dobbins. They need to be able to establish the run. They're going to go tempo here. Olave leads the receivers on the outside. Isaiah Simmons and A.J. Terrell, the top corner for this team.
They find Benjamin Victor. He's got a catch and a first down out across the 40.
Interesting approach with a long layoff, a lot of build-up, a lot of hype about Brent Venables and how aggressive he is as a defensive coordinator, how he likes to get an offense on its heels. 2 quick throws for Fields against his defense, against soft coverage.
Clemson defense crowding the line. Ryan Day, who is the play caller, no feeling out the Venables defense coming right at them early. And Dobbins muscles his way for 4. The man is within 95 yards now of Eddie George's career rushing record, or season record at Ohio State.
Yeah, he's had a great year. I got to tell you, I'm so excited to watch the matchup in the interior with the Ohio State guards, as center Josh Myers against the interior of the Clemson defense. The linebackers, James Skowski, 47, Chad Smith, 43, are attacking downhill, and they've got to be able to tackle a very physical runner with low center of gravity in Dobbins.
Tigers again crowd the line, then back out. Fields has time and fits the ball into a tight window. And the catch is made by the tight end, Luke Farrell, a first down in Tiger territory.
Well, he does a nice job there, just kind of feeling that pocket. He had a little bit of pressure, a little sidestep to the left, found that throwing lane, and made a great throw with great accuracy.
Looking to throw again. Delivers sideline route. It's Chris Olave. Defender slipped, and he spins down inside the 30. They are aggressive early.
And what do you do against an aggressive defense? You match them, is what Ryan Day told us, with that same aggression, that same attitude that Clemson tries to play with. Right now, they're the aggressor, the Ohio State offense, with the play calling and the tempo.
Fields again looking to throw. Loops the ball up. Leaping catch by Garrett Wilson down inside the 10 as the freshman makes a play.
Unbelievable catch by the true freshman from Austin, Texas. Oh, they're going to wave it off, it looks like. Boy, he went up, made a great effort. Boy, I don't know how you wave that off. Officials are talking. Maybe that right foot came down out of bounds. Right foot came down out of bounds. What an incredible effort.
There is an offside penalty on the Tigers, but not a catch.
Boy, Chris.
Incredible effort.
How about this tempo? This approach by Ryan Day. 6 plays, 1 run, 5 passes. And as we said, trusting his quarterback and his receivers to make plays against this Brent Venables defense. Clemson's not used to this.
No, Venables likes to dictate.
Yeah, they're not used to. They're trying to get their bearings, and they don't have a lot of time because of the way Ryan Day and Justin Fields are attacking.
And now a whistle before the snap on the first down and 5 play.
Ruling on the field was an incomplete pass. The previous play is under review.
So Gerald Hodges is the replay official working with the 3 folks back in the video center as they are doing all the SEC games. Another look at this. Wilson so high in the air.
Got his right hand. He got his left hand down there. Looked like his left hand may have touched before the right foot came down. Watch the hand come down there.
Does the elbow touch?
Yeah.
I think the right elbow is what would put him down and inbounds.
Yeah. I don't see an elbow. The right elbow came down, but I think it came down after the foot. The only thing that came down was the left hand.
Bill LeMonnier is our next official authority in the booth here. And Bill, I guess it's whatever touches the ground first here they're looking at.
Exactly. There's no requirement for the feet. The hand appears to touch first.
Yeah, it looked like that left-handed touch.
I say replay, reversing this to a catch and spotting the ball at that spot.
That's interesting, Bill. It's not an elbow, or a hand is
a hand, a foot, your elbow.
Interesting. That hand looked like, again, it got down to me.
The requirement is a body part.
Review, the runner's arm touched inbounds prior to going out of bounds. Therefore, we'll have a completed catch at the 5.5-yard line. It'll be first down.
Yeah, it was interesting.
The offside penalty will be declined.
When they first went to replay, you could see Ryan Day being frustrated because he wanted to keep attacking, but it turns out they end up reversing it. He's going to be a lot happier to have the ball at the 5-yard line.
And that is a tremendous play.
That's a
27th catch for Wilson, who comes from Austin, Texas. He's kind of the next Ohio State wide receiver weapon.
Well, that was a great effort because Kendrick had tight coverage. How about the ball placement by Justin Fields up high? Give the freshman a chance to go up and make a play on it.
Clemson very stingy in the red zone. Opponents have only made 25 trips in here and only scored 10 touchdowns. Fields surveys, dumps it down to Dobbins, who makes the catch, but runs out of bounds for a short loss. Yeah. Ohio State, on the other hand, has been powerful in the red zone, these situations all year long.
The good thing for Ohio State is they get the completion with the reversal. The bad thing is it's kind of slowed down that momentum that they had created with the play calling and the tempo offense.
Dobbins slips down as he tries to make the cut at the 5-yard line. Chad Smith was chasing him. It'll be 3rd and goal.
That's something to keep an eye on tonight. I was watching in the warm-ups on the field. You probably saw the same thing. A lot of players slipping on this surface. You know,
natural grass, they grow it outside, pull it inside, but don't you feel like this field is often damp?
It is. Yeah, it seems that it's a little slick. And we've caught a lot of games in here, big games, and you're right, that seems to be a reoccurring pattern. Something the players will have to adjust to when they make those sharp cuts.
Been a great drive, but this is a crucial moment early in the game. Ohio State looking to Fields, who scrambles, delivers, broken up beautifully in the end zone. A.J. Terrell got his hand out. Olave, the intended receiver, and here comes the field goal team.
And there's the length of A.J. Terrell, 6'1", 190. And he's up against Olave, who's a great receiver. And this is a big part of Ohio State's offense on 3rd down. Fields has got to be able to scramble, but look at the length of Terrell. Watch him reach out. Eyes on the quarterback, and then is able at the last second to reach out and knock that ball away.
So Blake Hubbell, very reliable kicker. with a chip shot. And Ohio State driving at 71 yards in 10 plays, only 2 running plays, but Clemson stout as usual in the red zone, holding Ohio State to 3. So Trevor Lawrence coming up. Tigers first possession, Buckeyes on top 3-0. Justin Fields sharp, 6 of 7 on the opening drive, completions to 6 different receivers, but Ohio State settling for a chip shot. So Chase Young, our PlayStation Impact player, 87 is a very high number for a defensive player. Did serve the 2-game suspension for an NCAA violation last year, but still had 16.5 sacks, which is the most in Ohio State history, and he is raring to go. Interesting to see how Clemson blocks him. Etienne back deep. Will they kick it to him? And he'll make a fair catch. Big games, they put Travis back there, and he is certainly dangerous. And here's Trevor Lawrence telling you about some of the things he does well.
I'm Trevor Lawrence, 6'6" quarterback from Cartersville, Georgia. Last year we won the national championship, and I was the game's MVP. 24-0 record as a starter.
169 pass attempts without an interception coming into this game.
I can't believe our guys got him to say a couple comments about himself. He deflects individual attention, likes to talk about the team, but that's a good job.
And it's a pitch. And Etienne gets a block on the edge. A hard hit, knocked out of bounds there by Jeff Okudah, but a nice first down gain as we check the Chick-fil-A Impact players on this side of the ball.
Yeah, much like Ohio State, Clemson, as much as you talk about Lawrence, they've got to get Etienne. T. Higgins will be into the boundary, number 5. Justin Ross will be on the other side. Talked a lot about Chase Young. You just saw Jeff Okudah make a great play against the run, but he's going to have to play great in coverage against the long, tall receivers of Clemson.
Etienne got 8 on first down. Now they fake it to him, and they find Higgins across the middle, who slips a tackle and makes a gain into Ohio State territory to the 45.
But one thing they're going to look at to attack aggressive linebackers coming downhill. When he sees that, and they're committed to stopping the run, he's going to throw right behind them in their version of run-pass option. They sit back, they'll run that, but when they're coming downhill against Etienne, he's smart to see that, pull it, and make the throw.
Lawrence, a keeper, and he's strung out and spun down. Good job on the containment from Malik Harrison. Interesting to see how often Lawrence runs the ball tonight.
Yeah, you know, coming into tonight, he has run, to me, way more than he did a year ago, much more effective, whether it's zone read or design quarterback run, and a lot of times creating, like we see with Justin Fields from Ohio State. It's very different from where he was last year as a true freshman. That time, Ohio State, great contain.
And now Young was eager. His throw downfield to Higgins. Some confusion whether or not it was a free play or a dead ball. Incomplete, out of bounds, but Young came across.
But his helmet, T. Higgins' helmet came off, and I don't know if he got hit when he went down. There was a collision there. It looked like Jeffrey Okudah just following through on the play may have hit Higgins, but it was a free play. I'm just talking about more about Higgins getting dinged there. It's 5 yards and a free play for Clemson, but Higgins took the worst of it.
Everybody kind of stopped, and you watched the end of the play.
Watch one, Okudah after the play. The ball is, helmet's off. Now watch him come down on top of Higgins right there.
Fuller swatted for the ball, didn't mean to hit him in the head. And you keep an eye on Higgins, who's coming off the best game of his life. 3 touchdowns in the ACC championship win over Virginia. On 2nd and 5, a little bit of a sprint out and the throw to Overton, who makes the catch. Short gain. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Jeffrey Okudah, you can tell, has brought an aggressive attitude into this game for the Buckeyes. Known as one of the top cover corners in the country. Talking about maybe a top 5 pick type of player. But tonight he's showing that he's ready to make plays coming up and making some tackles up close to the line of scrimmage.
First action this season for Braden Galloway, who was suspended for 12 months since the playoff a year ago. He's flexed out to the left of the formation. Lawrence fakes left, runs right, dives, and it's a first down at the 35. Galloway made a block.
And Galloway in makes a nice block, but Trevor Lawrence, just his awareness there of knowing where he needs to get. He's able to follow the center. Sean Pollard, also the tight end. We talked about Galloway, extends his body, knows exactly where he needs to go. And that's what we talked about. This was not a factor in Clemson's offense a year ago. Now you have to be aware of that and bring safeties down to account for that threat.
We fake it to Etienne, short throw, and the catch is made on the far side by Justin Ross. Damon Arnett drops him right there.
You know, I thought Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator, co-defensive coordinator for the Buckeyes, who's headed to Boston College when the Buckeyes season is over, made an interesting point to us. He said, we're okay with throws in front of the defensive backs. We've got to rally to the ball. We've got to tackle. We want to make them have to score in the red zone. Eliminate the explosives, make them drive the ball.
Nice plan if you can do it.
Yeah.
And hard to eliminate the explosives against this offense. Lawrence looking downfield, now checks it off the hands, nearly intercepted. Dropping into coverage was Tough Borland.
Well, Tough Borland just really going into sitting in zone, but just reading the eyes of the quarterback. Trevor Lawrence gets into that throwing window right there. And I think Trevor Lawrence just underestimated, maybe thought he could squeeze it in there, or maybe just flat out didn't see or expect to have Tough Borland sinking in coverage. But he was there and should have come up with the interception, but a good play.
Lynn J. Dix in the back on 3rd and 7. Lawrence has time, delivers low and incomplete. Protection broke down at the last minute. Arnett was in coverage. It's 4th down.
Buckeyes get off the field, tighten that coverage up. You can see there's Damon Arnett trying to disrupt that timing, top of the route. Gets a little physical there. And Chase Young, we always want to know what's going to happen with Chase Young on 3rd down. That time Galloway, the tight end, kind of chipped him to help out Ankrum, the tackle on that side, before he released to go out for his route.
P.T. Potter, the sophomore kicker, has been solid this year. This is near his career long of 51 from 49. It slid wide right. Ohio State defense gets a stop. Clemson comes up empty on the opening drive. 3-0 Ohio State.
The PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, brought to you by PlayStation 4, the best place to play. The all-new Lincoln Aviator. And the Nachos Party Pack from Taco Bell.
Of course, it was Joe Burrow's Heisman season, but 5 of the top 9 Heisman vote getters are on this field tonight. Incredible. Ohio State with 3 of the top 6, and then Lawrence 7, Etienne 9. Certainly Clemson players being snubbed for individual awards was a major motivating force for Dabo Swinney in the run-up to this game.
Anything he can use, he'll use.
Very few motivate teams better than Dabo has. T. Higgins has not had the helmet on, Kirk, since taking that shot on the sidelines in the last series, so we'll keep a close eye on that.
And trainers talking to him, trying to get a feel for his status and whether or not he's going to be able to come back out there. Kind of a freak accident after that incompletion.
Dobbins in the clear. Off to the races. Can they run him down? They cannot. Touchdown, Ohio State. "68-yard lightning strike by the Buckeyes."
Well, the build-up in this game, we really wanted to see Clemson's run defense with how aggressive they can be. And the way their linebackers come down, their safeties, could they hold up against the physicality of the Ohio State offensive line and J.K. Dobbins? Dobbins, one of his first carries of the night, explodes for that touchdown in 68 yards.
Dobbins, a tremendous workhorse in those 3 tough games down the stretch. They counted him again and again. He explodes early. He's going to catch Eddie George tonight for sure, for the record.
Yeah, zone read on Xavier Thomas. Great read by Fields, and then a missed tackle, bad angle by K'Von Wallace. And Dobbins shows you what kind of speed he has in the open field for the touchdown. Yeah, zone read on Xavier Thomas. If he stays wide, they're going to hand it off. It's exactly what happens here. Good job by Fields. But look at the left side of that offensive line, led by Munford, pushing and winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. Does a good job of that push, and that kind of frees up Dobbins to be able to make that play. And there's a poor angle by the safety, Kayvon Wallace. And you could see that speed. I mean, Dobbins is a thick, physical runner, but you get him out in the open field like that, he can leave most secondaries.
ETN from the 5. Quick burst and then a huge hit. Big collision. Knocked flat right there at the 21-yard line by Justin Hilliard.
Boy, big hit.
What did Ryan Day say? The start of this game was so important. Match the energy and the execution of Clemson. Make them feel our strength and our violence. And they are doing so far. 7 minutes, pretty good job of that.
As a first-year head coach, that's kind of been his message every week, no matter who the opponent is. And of course, on this big stage, you want to maintain that approach, especially against Clemson.
Now Trevor Lawrence back to work down 10, and perhaps without his top receiver T. Higgins. More on that in a second. ETN dances to the hole. Maria on the Tigers sideline. What can you tell us about Higgins' status?
Yeah, Chris, we saw T. Higgins going into the tent, and when he came back to the bench, he no longer had his helmet. He looked dejected, and a lot of his teammates were coming over to shake his hand, and then they just took him to the locker room for further evaluation. We're not sure about the diagnosis yet, and we'll get you an update as soon as possible.
Well, you hate to see that.
Sure do. Just a tremendous season, tremendous momentum off that 3-touchdown game in Charlotte. Empty backfield. Lawrence surveys, scrambles, and fires a bullet, which is incomplete. ETN could not hold it on the sidelines. It'll be 3rd and long. Another look at what happened here. Fuller came across, tried to swat the ball out of Higgins' hand back in the Tigers' first series. He caught the helmet, which came off pretty easily. Yeah, then Okuda would land on the head right. It didn't land on him much. I guess the head hit the ground. It didn't look as severe from that angle, Kirk, as we thought.
Yeah, maybe when he hit the ground.
Meanwhile, 3rd and 10. Lawrence chased by Young, heaves it downfield, has Overton wide open. He tiptoes for a catch in Ohio State territory. What a play.
You know, Proctor is playing back here as safety, who has not played a ton of football. Josh Proctor, he kind of loses the sight of the receiver. Eyes in the backfield, which opened up Overton to be able to make the play. Chase Young trying to deal with a lot of traffic, gets pressure on Lawrence, but Lawrence with the height at 6'6" goes over top of him. But Josh Proctor caught peeking in the backfield that time that cost Ohio State on 3rd and long.
What a quick release by the big fella with Young bearing down on him. Clemson needs a spark, and Lawrence as a runner will keep it and get 5. This is not a team that's used to being down 10 points just like that.
Yeah, and you're also looking at a quarterback that, as much as we've talked about him running, Dabo Swinney says, you know, all year you look at it's about 6 times a game is what he averages running the football. Already tonight he's run it 3 times. So you're going to see him probably carry it up to 10 to 15 times at least.
Lynn J. Dixon motions to the backfield, gets it in the flat. Harrison can't make the tackle, and arriving is Warner to clean it up. Very short gain. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Big emphasis for Ohio State is getting off of blocks. Jeff Hafley saying we were disappointed in the Big Ten Championship in the first half with the way they got off of blocks, the way they were leveraging the football against Jonathan Taylor. Says this is important against ETN and the speed of this offense. Getting off of blocks, great example of it there by the linebackers.
Buckeyes have been tremendous defending on 3rd down all year. Opponents under 30%. Lawrence, they pick up the blitz, but the ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Tyreek Smith got in there. The other defensive end figures to make plays tonight if they pay too much attention to Young.
Yeah, John Simpson, the left guard, 74, starts to work to his left to help on Chase Young. Ohio State blitzing Proctor. They get some one-on-one opportunities, and Smith kind of on a stunt to the inside, has that length himself at 6'4" to go up, timed that perfectly to knock that ball away.
Ohio State's defense, a strong and determined start against an offense that people thought no one could stop coming in. Wilson, who made the circus catch, back to return the punt, Spires, and it's a high one. And a fair catch made inside the 10 by Wilson. So Ohio State up 10, gets the football back from their own 9 midway first quarter. Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear, recognizing those who strive to rise above the rest. Goodyear, more driven. Early 10-0 lead for Ohio State. The Big Ten had not scored a point in the college football playoffs since Zeke Elliott punctuated the championship victory over Oregon. A couple of shutouts in the interim, including a 31-0 loss to Clemson. Here, different looking Ohio State group so far tonight. From the 9, Dobbins into heavy traffic. Simmons wrapping him up with help from Jordan Williams.
At this point in the game, Ohio State up 10-0 and really dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides. Clemson has Ohio State pinned. It's very important this series to try to keep Ohio State pinned, to force them to punt with a 3-and-out. Should give Trevor Lawrence good field position if you're a Clemson Tiger.
There's a false start by the Buckeyes. It'll back them up. He pointed out Venables is used to having the answers. He's used to dictating to opponents.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Man who's been a defensive coordinator in 7 national championship games, including 3 at Clemson. Unfamiliar position right now.
No, I mean, think about what they've done all year in the ACC. They've allowed 244 yards a game. Ohio State's already sitting at 140 yards, and they've played 11 plays into the game. But they have Ohio State pinned here, so see what they do.
Fields from the end zone, flips it short. Matt makes a catch, big collision, and he's knocked out. Very short gain. A.J. Terrell showing his physicality off the corner.
Yeah, nice job playing some zones, sitting there, keeping their eyes on the quarterback there. And now this is where Venables usually makes a living on 3rd down and long. It'd be interesting by Ryan Day to see what he does. 3rd and long inside his own 5-yard line. Probably in a conservative approach, you would think. But the way he's been calling plays, you never know.
Tigers bouncing around. Showing pressure pre-snap on this 3rd and 14. No conservative call. Fields from the end zone delivers. Hill, can he get there? Makes a move, battles, and gets a first down across the 20. Crucial conversion. Buckeyes backed up no longer.
Yeah, they used emotion to help them to get a matchup with K.J. Hill. You got soft coverage. Now Hill's got to make a play after the catch against Turner, which he does and wins. Great call, an aggressive approach again by Ryan Day, backed up inside his own 5-yard line.
Sure was.
Long.
There's your answer.
Yeah, and it shows you the confidence that he has in his quarterback, Justin Fields.
Dobbins starts right, cuts it back, and is dropped after a yard. Hill with a couple catches early. Got 15 on that 3rd and 14.
It'd be interesting, the morale of Clemson. So used to dominating, so used to being the one that's dictating things. All of a sudden, they've got Ohio State pinned. It's 3rd and long. You give up a first down. This is uncharted territory for Clemson's defense.
Fields has protection. Almost intercepted. Jumping the route was Kayvon Wallace.
Well, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. Isaiah Simmons will sink in coverage. Wallace is showing that he's deep. Fields thinks he's got an easy throw, but look at Wallace bait him. Simmons sinks. He knows it's coming out quickly. He jumps it, just unable to hold on to that football.
Each defense missing a great chance for an interception. That could have been a potential pick 6. 3rd and long again. They need 9. Fields is pressured and fighting for his life, and he'll be wrestled down by Skalski. Justin Foster got there first. It's 4th down.
Well, where will they come from on 3rd down and long? And in this case, they come from everywhere. They've got backers. They've got a safety up tight. You're trying to figure this out with pass pro. You're maxing it because you got the back there. but the speed, the relentless approach there by Foster, he's able to get around Brandon Bowen and win that time on 3rd down and long to get the ball back to the Tigers.
So Clemson's defense playing with more urgency, more energy, and they force the punt from Drew Chrisman. Maury Rogers staying to get his 44. Chrisman not as good as he usually does. That will get a friendly roll. Didn't hit it very cleanly, but now Lawrence takes over at the 47-yard line against this aggressive defense.
Yeah, man, they have really set a tone on this side of the ball. They've been challenged by Jeff Hafley and Greg Madison. Look at the physicality. Boom, Malik Harrison right there on that last drive. And then Josh Proctor on a blitz. He didn't get to Lawrence, but look at the message he's sending. Bang! Trying to pick up a back that time, and Dixon trying to pick up pass pro. Proctor runs right through him. So the first couple series, Ohio State not only holding up, but sending a message and playing with that violence and physicality that you talked about from Ryan Day.
And a misfire on the right side of the offensive line by the Tigers. Hafley will be headed to Boston College at the end of the season, the new head coach for the Eagles.
False start, offense number 73. 5-yard penalty.
All-ACC tackle Ankrum didn't miss a single practice though in preparation for this while he was trying to put together a staff and some recruits for BC.
And think about it, you have the early signing period. You're trying to have trying to hire a staff. You've got some of the old staff still there trying to help you out. I mean, there are a lot of coaches that go through that, and Jeff Hafley meanwhile still coaching. He's got a playoff and possibly a national championship if they win tonight.
1st and 15, play action. Lawrence zips it a slant. And Ross goes down, makes the catch in Ohio State territory.
And with T. Higgins down, more the onus falls onto 8, who was the hero last year in the national championship against Nick Saban and the Alabama defense. They will move him around even more now. He's usually to the field up here, but now they've got him down here into the boundary where T. Higgins normally would be.
Joseph Ngata, number 10, the true freshman from California, will also have to step up and help fill that role. ETN runs straight into traffic. Warner stopped him. He will be a couple yards short on 3rd down now.
So you're watching this game and you're thinking, what can Clemson do to kind of get their rhythm going? And I still think they've got to get that passing game. Their receivers are not winning on the edge. Okudah and Arnett and also all these guys, you're seeing them hold up and do a good job. Even Sean Wade in the slot. They're not getting separation, making it very tough on Trevor Lawrence in the pass game.
Ross is over there on the left, single coverage against Arnett. And Fields swarmed under. Lawrence is going to be sacked by Robert Landers, the big junkyard dog, and Tyler Friday as well. Ohio State swarms him yet again.
Watch how long this play takes to develop off to the right. I mean, watch these receivers and watch how quick the Ohio State pass rush gets in there. They're still running their routes, and Trevor Lawrence is taking an onslaught of defenders led by Sanders. The interior quickness, and then you can see the outside pressures able to get there with Friday and Harrison.
The attention justifiably on Chase Young, but there's a whole bunch of dudes in Ohio State that can rush the passer, especially if you pay a lot of attention to number 2. Spire's punt will bounce into the end zone. What a start for this Ohio State defense. Hope you'll join us on New Year's Day. We'll travel from Glendale to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl, presented by Northwestern Mutual, Ducks and the Badgers, followed in prime time by the All-State Sugar Bowl, Georgia and Baylor. Thrilled to be able to head to Pasadena. Very intriguing matchup there. Many feel that Oregon, had they not lost in this area, Arizona State would have been the 4th playoff team, and wonder how they would have fared against LSU today. We'll never know.
We'll never know. And I called that game in Tempe that night, and it definitely cost the Ducks after the way they played against Utah. I think if they win at Arizona State the way they played in the Pac-12 championship, they would have been the 4th team.
Fields rolls out, delivers a low bounced throw. He was chased by Simmons.
This Clemson defense, they don't know anything other than to continue to attack. Down 10-0, 49 seconds left in the first quarter. That's just Brent Venables' style. That's what he believes in. Doing a good job of mixing up their looks. They will live by the sword and die by the sword with their approach.
And now short throw and catch by Wilson. The true freshman's had an excellent first quarter, knocked down a couple yards short of the marker.
Nice quick throw. Ryan Day, I think, doing a good job with Fields, putting him in a position to have success throwing the football, making the reads comfortable. He's 9 of 12 so far.
3rd and 2 play. They do the false clap, then take a look at the sidelines, and here's the chess match.
Ryan Day and Brent Venables both adjusting late. Isaiah Simmons moving around here.
They're expecting an interior run. Instead, it's Dobbins around the corner and into the secondary. Off and running again. Dobbins finally tripped up inside the 10 by Tanner Muse, but the Buckeyes threatening.
I showed you Isaiah Simmons, and Brandon Bowen, the right tackle, felt that, and he does a nice job of kicking out on Simmons, and that's exactly where J.K. Dobbins ended up finding that crease in the defense. Again, if you've not seen Dobbins play a lot, he looks like a bowling ball, but he has tremendous breakaway speed, and he's especially fired up tonight with all the hype about Travis Etienne on the other side.
The bowling ball is rolling downhill fast tonight. A 68-yard touchdown, a 64-yard run. End of one. 10-0 Ohio State. You're watching the PlayStation at Fiesta Bowl on ESPN. Explosive first quarter at the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, College Football Playoff semifinal number 2. And a record for J.K. Dobbins that he desperately wanted. Not an individual guy, a record guy, but so much respect for the great Eddie George. And now with 1,970 yards in 39 less carries than Eddie's Heisman Trophy season. It's a single season rushing record for J.K.
And a young man who was very committed in the offseason with his diet and his exercise. He said last year was a failure as a season as a sophomore. He's very motivated coming into this year. Went from 12% body fat to 9%, but got stronger. And you can see how it's paid off for him in the way he's running.
Ate a lot of bad tasting food, he said. A lot of lettuce and beans, but hey, it worked.
Yeah, it was basically like eating grass for 3 months.
1st and goal, beginning quarter number 2. Fields from the pocket, harassed as he throws, tried to get it to Hill, and it was broken up by Wallace.
They're getting pressure, and a very dangerous throw there. Foster coming from his right, gets around Bowen again, does a good job with his hands, gets his hands on the jersey, but Fields is a big, strong guy, able to sit in there, get enough on that ball. Hill's almost able to come up with it, but good tight coverage by the Tigers. Well, Ryan Day, what an impressive approach in this first half as a play caller.
Dobbins running right, makes a cut, and is spun down inside the 5. It'll be 3rd and goal. Chad Smith on the tackle.
They continue to run to that right side. And the interior of the Ohio State offensive line is the strength, with Jonah Jackson, the transfer from Rutgers at the left guard, Josh Myers, the leader in the middle, 71, and then the right guard, Wyatt Davis. But they've been running behind Davis, 52, and also 76, Bowen, very successfully, really controlling the line of scrimmage.
Then Clemson force another red zone chip shot field goal attempt. Crowd the line, try to come after Fields, but he loops the throw, diving catch, touchdown, Dobbins! And the Buckeyes are flexing and stretching the lead.
The Tigers lose Dobbins, sneaking out of the backfield. The linebackers don't run with him. The defensive end this time, Foster, is trying to stay with him. He's the only one that recognized that he was slipping out. Isaiah Simmons, 11, probably needs to be on Dobbins because that is a mismatch. And they might take a peek at that before they kick this extra point. He reaches out, lays out, but let's watch the ball to see where that football hits. Yeah, definitely going to take a peek at it.
The AT&T pylon cam will show it to you, and we'll bring in Bill Lamagna. Control of the ball there. Does he have it when he crosses the plane, Bill, in your view?
Part of his responsibility is to maintain control of that ball if he's going directly to the ground. When he hits the ground, that ball turns in his hand. This is an incomplete pass.
I agree. Finish the process of the catch, and he does not do that.
Control, inbound status, be able to do a football move, which he did not do because he lost the ball.
Ball came into just one of his hands as it hit the ground, so it was difficult for him to control it. Remember, if the ruling is incomplete, it's going to be 4th down and a short field goal attempt. So a big swing here. Again, it's Gerald Hodges and the 3 folks in the replay center at SEC headquarters, just as they do in the regular games, making the judgment here.
After further review, the pass was incomplete. Therefore, it's 4th down and goal at the 5-yard line.
Significant reversal and the right call by the replay booth at this stage of the game. 17-0 with the way Ohio State's controlling both sides of the ball. First a field goal attempt here to go up 13. Very, very different for Clemson.
Buckeyes only kicked 5 field goals down in the red zone all season long. They scored touchdowns 59 times, but this will be the 2nd time tonight they've gotten close and had to settle for 3. 75-yard drive in 6 plays. They do build the lead 13-0 now. Look who's ringside watching this heavyweight collision in college football. Tyson Fury talked to him watching his first ever game, amazed at the spectacle of college football. And of course, he's based in Vegas, prepping for the big rematch with Deontay Wilder, Alabama guy. February 22nd from Las Vegas, a joint pay-per-view collaboration between Fox Sports and ESPN. Earlier he was with Tom Rinaldi on game day.
Yeah.
He's a large human, by the way.
He is a big man. I can't
6'9".
wait to watch that one.
Yeah, be fun. I'll meet you there.
Yes, sir.
So Clemson's defense has had a couple of stops in the red zone, or else this would be completely out of hand. As it is, a 13-point game. And Trevor Lawrence, who comes from Cartersville, which is about 20 miles away from Justin Fields' hometown in Kennesaw, kind of northern Georgia area. Not really friends, more acquaintances. Had 2 or 3 workouts as high school players in that area.
A lot of the summer camps, a lot of the elite quarterbacks will train together, meet up in high school and compete against each other in some of the different camps, and obviously had brilliant careers in high school, their choice of colleges.
Lawrence must again do without T. Higgins, who got knocked in the head early and apparently will not be able to return tonight. They flip it short to Ross. Ross on a crossing route will be wrestled down for a 5-yard gain. You just feel terribly for T. Higgins. You work, you wait, you prepare, you have a great season. You are on this big stage and a very flukish kind of play.
Yeah,
where his helmet comes off and he hits the ground with the head. And caution is essential in these situations, but you could see the disappointment on his face.
Again, Ross has been moving around quite a bit, but they've had to replace Higgins with Ross back into the boundary.
And Trevor takes off again, a keeper. Only about a 2-yard gain. Zach Harrison delivered a blow. It'll be 3rd and short.
You know, you're undefeated as a starting quarterback. Your team's down by 13. You can't get the rhythm going. This is where Trevor Lawrence has to start to really assert himself as a leader. Decision making, running the ball, throwing the ball, really try to take control and get his team to believe that they can get something going against this athletic and very aggressive Ohio State defense.
2 tight end look on 3rd and 2. And Etienne works hard. He's not going to get there. He's stopped short of the 1st down. Pete Werner came around the edge and stopped him.
That's exactly right. He's reading Harrison on the outside on a zone read, but Werner right here is able to knife through that defense. Good job of showing how tough he can be, getting off the block by the potential tight end there, Davis Allen, and coming up on 3rd and short, keeping him short of that 1st down.
Dabo Swinney doesn't want to, but doesn't feel like gambling here on 3rd and less than a yard. So Spires is out. Clemson back-to-back 3 and outs. Does it cross his mind to fake it to try to spark his team? It's what Ryan Day had to do when they were down against Wisconsin. Said they booted away. Talking about a team that averaged 3 punts per game. Spires busy early. That's a heck of a punt, though, that forces Turner back inside the 15-yard line, a 52-yarder. Well, a big gap, 15 days between the semifinals and the national championship presented by AT&T, the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. It'll be an unhinged week of preparation. It'll be an unhinged 2 weeks of preparation with LSU
right.
punching their ticket against the winner of this one. Will it be perhaps Joe Burrow against his former team if Ohio State can hold on to this lead? That would be a pretty juicy plot line.
Poor guy there in the hat. Rough day at the office.
Ohio State already more yards in this game than they had the last time these teams played in this field in the semifinals. 31-0 shutout. They had just 215 total offense that night. And there's a flag.
Looks like they got A.J. Terrell against Victor on a holding call. Very, very tight coverage.
Pass interference, defense number 8. The penalty will place the ball at the spot of the foul and includes an automatic first down.
Up at the top of your screen on that quick slant, you see him grab with the right hand, grabbed onto the jersey, and that's what the official saw. I think you're going to see Ryan Day go back to that tempo, aggressive, attacking approach with this lead. Why change? But I think you're really going to start to see more tempo, more kind of that first drive that they had.
Master Teague, redshirt freshman from Tennessee, spells Dobbins, but it's a keeper for Fields, is wrestled down for a loss by Logan Rudolph. Yeah, they've been throwing to set up the run. Kind of a change in pace, but he promised aggression, Ryan Day, and he has certainly delivered in the play calling and an aggressive approach on both sides from Ohio State. Fields takes a shot downfield, and a leaping catch made by Austin Mack on the sidelines. Went up over the excellent corner Terrell.
Boy, tight coverage by Terrell, but again, another receiver making a big-time play in Austin Mack, who's had a really great last 2 or 3 games for this Buckeye offense. What a block by Master Teague. Clemson brought a blitz. Boy, that is tight coverage by Terrell. Good location, the ball up high where Mack can climb the ladder and make the play at 6'2".
Not easy to beat Terrell. He got 24 yards that time, and now Fields keeps it and gains 3.
Terrell saying, I did everything that you coached me to do. I mean, that was tight coverage, in phase, hand up high, ball misses his finger by maybe an inch or 2, and Mack has that concentration there for the big play.
It was Terrell who had the pick 6 early against Tua last year. The Clemson defense setting the tone, dictating in that championship game. The opposite has happened so far tonight. On second down, a throw and a catch short of the first down is Jeremy Ruckert. It'll be 3rd and short. The tight end that made the catch that really ignited Ohio State's comeback against Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game.
You and I think a lot of viewers who are familiar with Clemson's defense with Brent Venables are thinking and saying the same thing, as far as we're used to seeing them dictate things, and because of the way Ohio State's been calling plays. Look at that.
Wow, a sneaky sneak. Fields came up, looked like he was going to set the protection. They snapped it to him, and they make it easily.
One of the things Ryan Day said is Brent Venables likes to check late, very late. Look at the defense looking, so they catch him napping with that quick snap and the quarterback sneak. That was intentional to catch the Clemson defense looking for the adjustment. After the fake snap, Clemson's defense is taught to look over. Ryan Day knows that, and that's exactly why he went with that delayed snap and quick call then after.
That time Dobbins runs right into heavy traffic. Xavier Thomas stopped him for a loss of a half yard.
We really thought that a good matchup would be not just these players, but Ryan Day, who has studied and understands and respects Clemson's defense, and knew, like we said, that Brent Venables is the master in the country. You talk to a lot of offensive coaches, they're going to tell you, boy, Brent Venables gets that check in late. It's the book on him, and that time Ryan Day able to win that chess match.
Behind the 6 on second down, Fields is pressured, escapes, and takes off. Has green grass and will slide down. Big gain down inside the 25-yard line. He looks okay.
Yeah, the knee looks okay, and that's the blitz. That's where Clemson usually wins, when they bring a couple blitzers. Most quarterbacks are down right there, but he keeps it alive and makes a big play.
End zone throw, Hill broken up. Tigers defense nowhere near being set at the snap that time.
Not at all. You know, that was fast. We just talked about how they're going to probably go to more of a tempo approach. Ball is perfectly thrown. Boy, Justin Fields is on tonight, putting the ball right where it needs to be. Surprised at KJ Hill. Tight coverage there by Kendrick, but Hill has made some big plays throughout his career, and especially this year, unable to hold on to that ball.
Kendrick got there just in time to influence it, but KJ would tell you he should have made that catch. Teague is the back, and Day trotting down And he'll take a timeout here. The play clock was winding down. So Clemson's defense giving up a couple of big runs. They've been able to come up with stops in the red zone. Ohio State getting close again, trying to build on the 13-0 lead.
The PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, brought to you by AT&T. Gatorade, for the athletes who give everything. Nothing beats Gatorade. Capital One, what's in your wallet? And the first ever Mazda CX-30. Feel alive.
Tigers in that 28-game winning streak. Serious jeopardy here. Down 13-0 with the Buckeyes driving. Taco Bell and the CFP bringing the best of the regular season to the playoff by creating the Live Ma student section. Taco Bell has provided tickets for students from schools participating in both Fiesta Bowl and National Championship games, so the most passionate fans can cheer on their teams. And the Buckeye faithful, a lot more to cheer about. Once again threatening. 281 yards of offense for Ohio State against a defense that gives up 245 per game, but hadn't really faced an elite quarterback or an elite running back so far this season. They are facing both tonight. Teague to the left and lowers the shoulder, gains about 2. It'll be 3rd and long. Terrell got there to stop him.
Keep running that stretch play outside that they ran earlier with J.K. Dobbins for big yards. You can see after that timeout, they called one play, had a second play call. They're going fast. Clemson trying to get players off the field. They can't do it.
They didn't. And now Teague barrels ahead, and the flag is down because they couldn't get the 12th man off the field in time, and that'll move it 5 yards closer.
Yeah, with a 3rd down coming up, Ohio State anticipated Brent Venables trying to rotate 3 players in. Ohio State didn't substitute, so they can go as fast as they want to go there. They caught Clemson again napping. Right now, Ryan Day is out coaching Brent Venables in this game.
Defense, 12 players on the field when the ball is snapped. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
How often have you seen Venables
Never
out-coached in a big game?
Not since in Davos. You can see he's frustrated. Great job out-thinking Clemson and the coaching staff. One step ahead is Ryan Day of Clemson and his defense.
Makes it 3rd and 3. It's still Teague in for Dobbins.
Justin Fields looks over to Ryan Day, gets the play, and Clemson looks over to Brent Venables to get the adjustment.
Teague, 1st down, knocked down at the 10. So again, Day, after getting a look at the formation, makes the call, and Teague moves the sticks.
Yeah, great block by Josh Myers to center that time. They opened up the middle. Man, we talked about what's the strength. What do you do with an aggressive attacking defense? Run right at them, north and south. Exactly what they did there, led by the center.
Myers, the cerebral sophomore, bookended by a couple of veteran guards, Jonah Jackson and Wyatt Davis.
Offense. Not all 11 players are set for a full second.
Both guards were all Big Ten first teamers. They call it the tip of the spear. That's what Day likes to use. Myers says it's the apex. Those 3 dudes in the middle have been so dominant this year.
Yeah, I've been watching Ohio State football for a long time, and I cannot remember the interior being as strong and physical and consistent as these 3 with Jackson, Myers, and Davis.
Myers and Davis, again, sophomores. Jackson, the grad transfer from Rutgers, who came in and was such a leader, named a captain here. So 1st and 15 after the penalty. Fields from the pocket has good protection, looking end zone, lost it for Mack. Did he get it? No. Out of bounds. Again, Fields is just feeling it. He's trusting his arm and putting the ball in tight spaces, Kirk.
Yeah, Skowski dropped back to the middle. You call Tampa 2. They have 2 safeties that are deep, trying to cover half the field. They run that middle linebacker 47. He's in position, just can't go up and make a play. Great concentration again by 11 Mack. I'm just unable to get his left foot down, and a good call by the official.
Dobbins is well rested, returns to the game on 2nd and 15. Tigers bring pressure. It's a screen. Dobbins bobbled it, had a blocker and plenty of yards in front of him, couldn't come up with it. Wow.
He had a convoy in front of him. The 3 guys we just talked about. If he holds on to that, you have Jackson, Myers, and Davis out in front of him. You see his head turn around. He starts to run with the ball. before he's able to hold on to it. Ryan Day, he's sitting there saying, we got him. Touchdown. And Dobbins, who's had a big night so far, just unable to secure it.
Again, it was the perfect call against the blitz, and Dobbins had a couple of balls he couldn't control that could have been touchdowns tonight. The first one for sure would have been. So 3rd and 15. Well protected. Fields looks for the end zone again. That one, no chance. Way too high for Benjamin Victor. And for the 3rd time tonight, the Buckeyes will stall in the red zone and have to try a field goal.
Yeah, and kind of a delayed route there. Victor trying to catch Terrell napping. You're not going to do that. That's good coverage, good discipline. Terrell in perfect position there. And you're right, Chris, 3 times Clemson's defense, which has been a strength of theirs in a red zone, kind of bows up there to force these field goals.
The only thing keeping Clemson in the game have been these stops in the red zone. Bill tries to make it 3 for 3. This from 33, dead center. And the kick is perfect. Another long march for the Buckeyes. 14 plays, 70 yards, and the lead is now 16.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri, what bowl games are coming up?
Siri knows it's the granddaddy of them all. Presented by Northwestern Mutual. Last time we saw that Ducks defense, they were suffocating Utah. Pac-12 champions against the runners-up in the Big Ten, Wisconsin, followed by the All-State Sugar Bowl, Georgia and Baylor. Ohio State, complete dominance. The only thing that you'd be concerned if you're an Ohio State fan is the lead is not bigger because of the 3 red zone field goals. But the defense has been aggressive, hard-hitting, and they, without Higgins in the game, you get Clemson searching for answers against these guys.
Jeff Hafley's whole approach in this game is keep everything in front. Do not give up big plays, and when they catch the ball in front of you, make tackles. Don't give up yards after the reception. A lot of zone, eyes on the ball, eyes on that quarterback, whether it's the run or the pass. That time, tough forward sinks in coverage, reads the quarterback's eyes, and this has been incredible all night. The way they're getting off of blocks, playing downhill, playing with an aggressive, violent mindset. Clemson, ETN, only 16 yards rushing tonight, and ETN, 13 yards.
You fake it to ETN, and Lawrence, miscommunication. Ross wasn't on the same page, and Chase Young knocked the quarterback down. Maria?
Yeah, guys, Justin Ross on the sideline receiving some treatment at the base of his neck. Looked like he's struggling with movement right now, so that could be 2 receivers dealing with injuries.
Wow.
Obviously, with T. Higgins out.
Yeah, Maria, that is tough for this offense, but even tougher is the offensive line trying to deal with Chase Young and this aggressive defense.
ETN on the pitch. Quick burst. Ohio State picking up where they left off in the second half against Wisconsin, the Big Ten championship. In the first half, Taylor ran wild on him, had 135-yard rushing at halftime, and then they dialed it up, and it looked a lot like this bunch from the start.
That's the way they really played all year. It's with the exception of the first half against Wisconsin and Taylor. Another 3rd down here for Lawrence. Remember, quarterback run, always a factor on 3rd and short with a 6'6" quarterback who's athletic.
And Lawrence will keep it and makes a man miss, takes a big shot. You got to pay a price in a playoff game. They moved the sticks. Fuller delivered that shot.
Yeah, another message from Hafley this week has been hit the quarterback. If he's going to run it, if he's a threat, we've got to make him feel our defense. That's a good hit there. You see Hamilton down low, and then, of course, the safety, who's the eraser for Jordan Fuller, is able to clean that up. But Clemson, a good call there on 3rd and short, gets the first down.
He loves the fact that he's the only safety out there. They play 3 corners on him, and he loves the responsibility.
Sitting there in center field.
Play action on 1st down. Lawrence rolling, surveying, flips it to ETN, who spins for 1st down yardage again right near midfield.
That time, Travis Etienne chips, helps on Chase Young, and then releases out. Nobody accounted for him, and if you can't get him going running the football, just try to get him out in space. He's an electrifying player.
Etienne just 21 yards on his 5 rushing attempts. 11 yards on that catch. Ball at midfield. Clemson desperate to dent the scoreboard here. Another keeper. Lawrence held up briefly, but shows the strength. long strider, but fought off a tackle, picked up 5.
This is one of the answers against Chase Young. We just showed you where he is, zone read, just reading him. Where does he go? And Lawrence feels he can get around him, which he's able to do. Werner's in there tight to try to slow him down, but Trevor Lawrence, again, running the football quite a bit tonight to give him that extra number for the defense to account for.
He's run it 7 times. Dixon is the back, but Lawrence wanted to flip it to him. Well covered. Nobody open there. Tyler Friday with the pressure.
Yeah, I think Clemson tipped their hand there a little bit too early. Shaun Wade felt that. He locked up Dixon as he snuck out of the backfield after that fake. Trevor Lawrence had nowhere to go with that football. All he could do really is throw it away.
I wonder if Dabo's thinking 2 plays to get the 5 yards here. 5 minutes to go in the half. Ohio State showing some pressure. Now they bail. Lawrence hit anyway. Shaun Wade off the corner, and Lawrence is still down. Took a hard hit.
Shaun Wade came from his star position over the slot on the left-hand side. Nobody picks him up. Chris, that's what you said. On that fake count, Wade showed blitz, but they did not. They still didn't pick him up. And Lawrence, I mean, Wade's going full speed into Trevor Lawrence there on that sack.
And then Chase Young got there late and grabbed the quarterback around the neck. He was twisted in an awkward position and is still down. It is the 53rd sack of the season for Ohio State. They're going to review this to see if perhaps targeting came into play. Let's look at it in real time. And Wade, this is a physical play by a quarterback. Boom.
That is a big hit. So I think they're checking to see targeting on the hit by Shaun Wade there.
Mother Amanda, and you saw a quick look, and that's great news as he gets up and trots off. Now we'll see what the folks at the replay center, the SEC, in combination with Gerald Hodges, have to say as we take another look at this hit.
Yeah, I think they're taking a look not at Chase Young, but that hit right there from Wade, obviously.
Bill LeMonnier, rules expert. Bill, what is your assessment of Wade's collision?
There's a part of me that doesn't like it. He's in a wrap-up, but at the same time, he came in and he dipped his helmet. And that's the one with a quarterback there with the ball.
After further review, number 24 of the defense is charged with targeting. The penalty is 15 yards to the previous spot and includes an automatic first down. By rule, number 24 is disqualified for the remainder of the contest.
So Shaun Wade is out for the remainder of the game. He would be eligible to play in the championship game if they get there, but the penalty will move the football into Buckeye territory.
This is really significant. You're talking about a player that has first-round ability. He's playing over the slot. You know, they didn't have him in the Michigan game, and they toyed around with moving Damon Arnett. I brought that up to Jeff Hafley. He said that was a mistake. If it happens again where Wade can't play, we're going to keep Arnett on the outside, and we'll bring in different players to be able to play over that slot. Right now, Amir Reep has checked into the game in that position for Wade.
And Chase Bryce has checked in. Lawrence not in the game after that hit as they evaluate him. So the backup, who is a solid player and has been a hero, big part of keeping this winning streak alive. The heroics against Syracuse last year, hands it off to Etienne, who will lose a yard. So already T. Higgins knocked out of the game. Maria reporting that Justin Ross has gotten treatment. And finally,
Lawrence comes.
A bit of good news as Lawrence is back in there.
Yeah, but the theme continues with the line of scrimmage. Robert Sanders, they're rotating bodies, but man, Chris, getting in low and quick. Winning, getting just off the ball. Who's getting off the ball faster and lower and more aggression? Right now it's Ohio State. Another good play there by Landers.
Certainly great news that Lawrence is able to return. Looking to throw here on second down. Lofts it downfield for Ross, who can't come up with it. And now a flag, 2 of them down. It was Amir Reep in for Wade and Fuller defending that time.
They went right after Reep, who was in against one of the best receivers that Clemson has, especially with T. Higgins down. He's grabbing onto him the entire time. He's running about 10 or 15 yards downfield.
Defense number 10. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So it's guys like Reep, Severn Banks, Cameron Brown who also have to step up and collaborate to help out with Wade out now.
Yeah, and a good call by Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott, the co-offensive coordinators. They recognize that Wade's out, go right after a guy who hadn't been in the game at all. And it's an easy call there for the officials. He's grabbing onto him the entire time he's running that route.
So first down at the 16. ETN, quick penetration, had to battle to get back to the line of scrimmage. Malik Harrison's been really active in the first half tonight.
He sure has, but he's really benefiting from the defensive line play. Landers again is just too much to handle with his speed and quickness. He gets into that backfield. You can see ETN has to kind of navigate his way around Landers, and makes it easy for the linebackers with Harrison to clean it up.
Clemson offensive line is not used to being swarmed and dominated like this. Lawrence still has the ball, scrambles, now looks to run, and long strides will carry him inside the 10. It'll be third down and about 2.
Boy, he covers a lot of ground when he takes off to run the football at 6'6".
Gallops, doesn't he?
He sure does. Ohio State bringing a lot of pressure. That time they lose the edge. They lose contain. With Malik Harrison, he's able to use the speed to get around him, give him a much better chance on third and short. Keep reminding you, Ohio State's got to be aware of that quarterback run on these third and shorts.
Pitch to ETN. Can he get the edge? No, he's turned back, but does well and scores standing up. That was all Travis Etienne on his own, and the Tigers finally on the board.
Great point about that being all Travis Etienne. It's a good read. He pitches it out, but look at Fuller not give up on the play. But the rest of the Ohio State defense is running, expecting him near the boundary, puts his foot in the ground, deals with Fuller, and then cuts back against the rest of the aggressive Ohio State defense and into the end zone for the touchdown.
They beat a very good safety in Fuller, and then just ran through about 5 scarlet jerseys. Etienne finally gets Clemson on the board. 2:45 before halftime, and it's 16-7. As Travis Etienne's 18th rushing touchdown of the season. Penalties aiding the drive big time. Nice day in Arizona after a couple rainy days, and Goodyear Blunt providing our aerial coverage. Introducing the honorary member of the College Football Hall of Fame, Goodyear Blimp. Goodyear more driven. They were inducted in Atlanta just earlier this month, right?
That's right.
Well, it was going to be fourth down for Clemson. They would have had to punt the ball, but that targeting call, a good one, correct call against Shaun Wade, prolonged the drive.
Pass interference by Reed.
So the 75-yard, 10-play drive has cut the Ohio State lead to 9. Another look at this drive. They desperately needed it, but the over-aggression on the blitz here, the helmet-to-helmet shot, boom, right there. Lawrence, wrapped up by Young, was able to come back in the game after missing one play. And here on the scramble,
picks up part of it. Yeah, picks up some big yards to give him a chance right here on third down. And you can see again the speed and the instincts. And you need a big play. Down big. It's when your playmakers and leaders got to step up. And that time both Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne were able to do that.
Defense kind of relaxed, thinking that Fuller was going to grab him, and he didn't. And now Dobbins, who's had 2 long runs and has become the Ohio State single-season rushing leader in this first half, is dropped by Skalski and Wallace for a loss.
I'm sure Brent Venables challenged his team after getting that touchdown. Try to create a little bit of momentum. 16-7 here. His defense has kept them in this game. I mean, the Buckeyes have moved the ball, but they've not been able to get the ball into the end zone when they've been in the red zone so far. 0 for 3 inside that 20-yard line for touchdowns.
Coming into a key part of the game on something that Dabo Swinney emphasized. He's not the first coach to do so, but you talk about the middle 8 of the game, the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half, and Clemson loves to be able to control that part of the game. When they win the scoring battle in that middle 8, They're 45-1, so they're trying to obviously call timeouts, get the ball back. They'll get it to start the second half as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that the Clemson staff, led by Dabo Swinney, they got to be thinking about is they get a touchdown. Now you got Ohio State, in a position where Ryan Day's been aggressive all night. They're thinking about the stop, try to get another, at least maybe a field goal, and then they get the ball to start the second half. So these are big minutes at 2:38 to go here in this first half.
Suddenly there's some energy on the Tigers sideline. They're jumping around, waving the towels. Their crowd, after a subdued first half, up and involved. Fields looking to throw on 2nd and 10. Backpedals, has space, and now delivers on the sideline. And the catch is made by Wilson. The freshman's been a big part of the attack so far. He's a couple yards short of the marker.
They rushed 3 that time, just relying on good coverage. They had 3 deep and 5 under, but Fields, because he's athletic enough to keep the play alive, eventually finds Wilson for positive yards.
And now Dobbins hit in the backfield and dropped. They can't convert on 3rd and 2. The Tigers freshman Tyler Davis got there to stop him.
Good job by Tyler Davis, but James Skowski also walks up into the line of scrimmage. Does a good job right here affecting the play, but watch Tyler Davis right there at the nose spot, able to get through there and benefit, because you saw the center 71 Myers, he had to come and account for that linebacker, which freed up the freshman Davis to make that play.
Skalski right on top of him, and Dobbins remains down on the field. JK looking at that foot and ankle area. 68-yard touchdown at a 64-yarder to set up a field goal.
Well, Tyler Davis, when he got into the backfield, he wrapped around the leg and eventually the foot. Right there, he's holding on to him and allows the rest of the defense to get in there. But the ankle's not, it's kind of held solid there by Davis. Dobbins up now, which is good news.
We'll trot off. Tigers defense forcing a 3-and-out for the first time tonight. So all of a sudden the tone has changed here in Glendale. And Clemson with 2:05 to work with. They did spend 2 timeouts, but still should have plenty of time for Lawrence to operate the 2-minute drill. Chrisman punting, and Amari Rogers stationed at his 29. Clemson peels back. It's a line drive kick, and Rogers retreats to the 15, and the coverage team flies down there. That's Olave, who came down to make the play, the receiver who takes great pride in his special teams play. Well, the build-up to this game was really historic. First 13-0 teams to ever meet. Clemson having not lost since the end of the 17 season. Ohio State having not lost since Purdue game middle of last year. Does remind you of that setup in the Rose Bowl. 2 long winning streaks collided. The star power in that Texas win over USC with Leinart, Bush, and Young, and all the star power on both sides of this game coming in. The winners of 28 in a row, not about to fold their tents. Lawrence from the pocket delivers a low throw, incomplete. Once again, Ross not quite on the same page as the quarterback.
And again, he's had to flip positions. He typically is to the field, which is a different position, but because he knows both positions with T. Higgins down, he switches and now has to go into the boundary. You have 14 who's able to go out to the field there, and Overton. Remember, Ream is in for Sean Wade. It's a matchup that I know Clemson's going to want to try to revisit.
Lawrence gets it away just in time, but throws it up for grabs, and it's broken up by Damon Arnett. Again, they deliver a shot to the quarterback.
Yeah, and this is what, quarterbacks want to get the ball up high to their taller receivers. Ross is 6'4", and I wondered how these corners would hold up against the length. Look at Arnett, gets his head turned around, able to go up, high point the ball, and knock that away.
No sacks for Chase Young, but he certainly affected the play. And his pressure creates a 3rd and 10. Lawrence delivers a strike. Ross makes the catch. They move to 6 across the 30. That was a dart.
It was, and the linebackers were up tight, thinking about Lawrence possibly taking off. They're kind of spying him, so it opens up the middle of the field. And when Trevor Lawrence is able to throw in rhythm, and you give him that big of a window, he's going to put it right on the money.
16-yard gain on a crucial 3rd and 10. Now from the pocket, Lawrence took a peek downfield and now tries to find Overton on the sidelines. Incomplete. Reap defending. Minute 22. And Clemson trying to come off the canvas here as Dobbins tries to get that ankle loose. The Mazda halftime report is coming up. Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, David Pollock. Take a look at that dominant LSU victory from the Peach Bowl, and also Penn State's victory earlier today. Big Ten 3-0 in bowls at the moment. Lawrence took a peek downfield, had a lot of room, and breaks a tackle, and is still running. Lawrence in a foot race. Will they catch him? Touchdown Tigers! Wow! A game-changing play. "67 yards. Proctor had a chance to stop him, but the big fella got out and galloped all the way home.
What a call by Clemson. Again, utilizing the legs of Trevor Lawrence in that backfield. You expect Etienne to be carrying the ball tonight. Instead, it's Lawrence following the block of the left guard, John Simpson, and it opened up.
Talk about a frustrating first half, Kirk, throwing the ball. How about this play, though?
This is great job of reading this block right here by Trevor Lawrence. Simpson, the left guard. You can see the linebackers, they actually move this way, and now it's up to the free safety, Josh Proctor, to be able to make a play. The eraser, right? You got to make that play. And again, he's 6'6", 220, making those moves in the open field. Heck of a play, and the Tigers are right back in this game.
Long run this season. Before that was 28 yards, but it is the 8th rushing touchdown for Trevor. And Clemson within 2, despite being badly outplayed most of this first half.
Keep in mind, he got knocked out of this game after that hit. The targeting call by Sean Wade shown some toughness. We talked about, remember early in the first half, I said, you got to step up. You're undefeated. Need to see this leadership. Need to be that guy. Boy, has he answered the call here for Clemson.
And perhaps Wade's targeting play, the helmet-to-helmet hit on Lawrence, will be the pivotal moment tonight. Certainly changed momentum. Here's the play. Okay, this is 4th down.
This is a gutsy play here, and an unbelievable call to be able to recognize that they had the numbers right. You have to be able to account for that quarterback. Ohio State's defense is built to stop the run. And Clemson knew coming into tonight, Trevor Lawrence would have to be involved in this running game, and he most certainly has up to this point, 9 times and 89 yards.
Now the Tiger bench really up, jumping around, the crowd making noise. Momentum has been seized. And the folks in orange and white, Teague spun down, and now it's just Ohio State trying to get to the locker room with the lead.
And Dabo Swinney sprinting down and to call another timeout. You talked about the final few minutes of the first half and the beginning of the second half, and Dabo Swinney getting his team to really respond here at the end. Got to give his defense and Brent Venables a lot of credit, because this game was lopsided. It was going in a very bad direction for the Tigers, but Ohio State had 3 drives inside the 16-yard line and came away with 3 field goals. So they've kept them in this game and given Lawrence and the offense a chance to strike back and make this a ball game.
They were so dominant early, moving the ball up and down the field, that you just wondered, against a team as explosive as Clemson, you don't take the opportunities, and they proved to be crucial. Now, they can obviously run out the remainder of this clock if Day chooses just to run the ball. By calling the timeout, it's kind of forcing their hand, because if they do throw it, you don't get a completion.
Yep.
It force Ohio State to have to punt the ball here before the break.
Well, really, from that targeting call, the pass interference call, boom, this game has flipped.
Dobbins has not returned to the game. It's still Teague. They fake it to him, and Fields With that aggressive approach from Day, looking to throw, delivers over the middle into traffic. Couldn't find K.J. Hill. There were a bunch of Tigers surrounding the senior.
Well, he had K.J. Hill earlier over the middle of the field. He'll be coming from your right. He's looking to his left. Watch K.J. Hill work his way into the middle of that defense. Right there, right there, right there. He ends up throwing it late. Just isn't able to locate him. Once he broke free, he's looking to his left.
The interesting decision now for Day. Do you try to throw, make the first down, but perhaps if you don't complete it, give Clemson some time to work with here. And they're going to run it with Teague right into traffic. Clemson, of course, can't stop the clock. So there's about a 10-second difference between play clock and game clock.
There's aggressive and then there's crazy, right? I mean, Ryan Day's been aggressive the entire first half. With Clemson out of timeouts and having the momentum, you know, he has to run the ball there and work this clock down.
Ohio State came out intent to impose itself physically, feel our violence. That was Ryan Day's mantra to the team, and they certainly did all of that, controlling line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. But then that one targeting call, and you knew eventually, even without T. Higgins, Lawrence was going to find a way to get the team back in the game.
Well, what a treat for us and the viewers, because I don't know if you can find two staffs that have proven this year to be better at in-game adjustments than Clemson and Ohio State. And now here we are at a 2-point game, and these staffs are going to go into this locker room, and they're going to have to try to make their adjustments and talk about what's working, what's not working. And it's going to be a treat to see how this plays out.
Clemson will get the ball to begin the second half. What's your sense of the message that Jeff Hafley will deliver to his defense? They were so aggressive early. Now you give up. The last thing you expect is Lawrence is going to run 67 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously came in maybe thinking that Lawrence might be somewhat of a factor in the running game. Now, clearly, he has been involved a lot, and that's the adjustment. They're going to have to account for QB run and keep doing what they're doing. You just got to execute. I mean, they've been playing great for a quarter and a half. They're not going to lose their aggressive approach at all.
Chrisman, they came after him. He gets the punt away, and with no returner back there, it'll just bounce and be down at the 23-yard line with 4 seconds before halftime. Well, Capital One rewarding performance takes a look at the evening of Trevor Lawrence, and he's had to show toughness. Among all the attributes, not enough is said about this, but Wade delivers the shot, gets himself ejected from the game. Lawrence returns after missing one play.
You can see the look on it. You can see the look on his face, Chris. It was not pleasant, but after that one play, he comes right back in and eventually leads them to a touchdown where ETN scores, and it comes back the next possession and shows you the kind of speed he has and the toughness that he has to be able to be the leader of this team. Remember, he's undefeated as a quarterback. He's a winner.
Hasn't lost a game since November 2017, a Georgia playoff shocking loss. Buckeyes rolled to a 16-0 lead. Clemson claims momentum, and the lead is just 2 at halftime. Go to Tom Rinaldi with Ryan Day.
Chris, thank you very much. A half you were dominating, up 16-0 in the final minutes run. What changed?
Well, we got a couple things that really, the catch in the end zone, that's a touchdown. We didn't score in the red zone. And you talk about a change of events when they threw Sean out of the game. I have not seen that, but you talk about a change in the game. He's out of the game. It's 4th and 15. They get the first down and score. That was a huge change, but that's behind us. So we got to regroup at halftime and come out and play great in the second half.
Appreciate the time. Thanks, Rex. Maria.
All right, Coach, the momentum started on that sideline, but you're taking it into the locker room. What was the difference in the first half?
Well, we just settled down. We really, give them credit. They made some good plays, but, man, we did a poor job of taking care of Clemson. Basic stuff, zone read, the end doesn't squeeze, big play. Another time, we got a guy that comes to the A-gap, no contain, big play. But I tell you, we played good red zone defense, and I think we held them to some kicks. That gave us a chance to kind of settle in right there, and then did a poor job on 3rd and short. We dropped a pass on 3rd down, and so just really didn't play. We gave up that 12 men on the field, so didn't do the things that we need to do on our end. But our guys got the heart of a champion, and you just saw it. So tough start for us. Good finish to the second half. We get the ball, so hopefully we can continue to build on that momentum. And dropped a pick 6 right in our hands, missed a field goal. So hey, we're very fortunate that it's 16-14 and still got a good chance.
All right, thanks for your time.
Deb, we better get in there. We're about to kick off for the second half here. Dabo, a comprehensive review. Hey, we got a great second half coming up, a rarity, a competitive semifinal. Trevor Lawrence is going to take snaps behind for the first time in his college career. The Mazda halftime report right after these messages from the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl.
Stream your favorite sports, stories, and series with ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu. Get all three for just $12.99 a month.
The undefeated Buckeyes, the undefeated Tigers for a slot in the championship game. Dobbins off to the races. 68-yard lightning strike. Touchdown Tigers! A game-changing play. 2-point game in Glendale. Welcome back to the College Football Playoff semifinal at the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Ohio State scoring the first 16 points before Trevor Lawrence and Clemson roared back in the final 5 minutes of the half to cut the lead to 2, and Tigers will get the ball to begin the third quarter. And welcome back Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. 25 minutes of dominance by Ohio State, but some red zone field goals. T. Higgins knocked out of the game for Clemson, but a pivotal penalty, a targeting call on Shaun Wade turned everything.
Yeah, the targeting call, not only do you take Shaun Wade, who's a great player, out of the game, but it gave Clemson life on a 3rd and 15. They end up getting the first down, a pass interference, and a touchdown by ETN. In really the last minute and 35, 2 touchdowns for Clemson, which really tells you how the game changed late in that first half.
J.K. Dobbins had a couple of long runs, but also had a couple of dropped passes. With that ankle problem at the end of the half, we'll keep a close eye on that. Let's take another look at the play. Shaun Wade came on the corner. This is an aggressive approach. They were intent on hitting Lawrence early and often. That helmet to helmet, though, drew the flag.
There are a lot of people that question the call. They get upset with the call. That's a bad call. Bill, is it a bad call or the right call?
It's forcible contact, crown of the helmet, and it doesn't matter that Trevor even dipped down a little bit. You cannot go to the crown of the helmet from your head to your toes on your opponent. It's a targeting foul.
Offense had been stagnant before that play. 97 yards and 10 plays after. And Lawrence and company back in business from the 25. And looking to throw in first down. Zips it across the middle into traffic. Flags down immediately. They try to get the ball to Higgins, who's returned to the game.
Yeah, we talked at halftime. Chris thought maybe they would look at him. Maybe there's a chance to come back into the boundary. Damon Arnett with that left hand trying to jam him, slow him down. Grabs onto that jersey. Official sees it. The right call is made, but for a Clemson fan to see 5 back out there to start this second half is big, because now you can move Justin Ross back to the field.
Defense number 3.
Buckeye defenders
Penalty will place the ball.
probably thought, hey, we don't have to worry about Higgins the rest of the night. The guy was a 1,000-yard receiver, 13 touchdown receptions. Looks to be good to go. That's a big relief.
And a tough matchup. It's 6'4", 215 pounds. Has played in a lot of big games. Has to win in the boundary one-on-one for this offense to really be effective.
Higgins with a touchdown catch in his last 4 postseason games. And now it's ETN busting loose. Quick burst for 7.
Trying to get him loose. They had a hard time doing that in the first half. This time, remember I talked about these coaching staffs are as good as you're going to see in-game adjustments. They want to get him outside, away from that battle in the interior between the tackles where Ohio State has been dominating. Get him out on the edge.
And Lawrence loops his sidelines. Higgins couldn't come up with it. We'd wondered what would it be like and how would he respond if for the first time in his college career Lawrence is going to have to play from behind, trailing in the second half. We're about to see that.
Yeah, we sure are. And I think one of the adjustments that Jeff Hafley made, speaking of adjustments, is getting those corners up tighter, jamming T. Higgins, trying to disrupt the timing, and Arnett also up tight. Remember, Reed is in again for Shaun Wade.
3rd and 3. Higgins working against Okudah. A couple of future first rounders, but that time Higgins back in the game, dropped it, and Lawrence was hit again after the throw.
Yeah, he sure was. Ohio State brought some pressure, but that's a ball T. Higgins obviously would normally catch. It's a jam and then bail by Okudah. Ball off the hands, thrown to the outside where Higgins can make a play on it. Talking about two future first-rounders going head-to-head. And I think the tight end 25 chalk, his route may have got into the vision of T. Higgins trying to find the ball coming out of the hands of Lawrence.
It was Tough Borland who kind of rolled up his back, hitting the lower leg of Lawrence. Spires with the punt, tries to knock it dead, and they are able to keep it out of the end zone. A beautiful kick from the junior Clemson legacy player. The coverage team does its job, and the Buckeyes will be backed up. Maria?
Well, we checked in with Clemson officials at halftime, and we're told that T. Higgins was never officially ruled out of this game. Now, in the first half, we saw that he did not have his helmet on the sideline. Spent a lot of time with head athletic trainer Danny Poole, just talking with them, and obviously after further diagnosis in the locker room, he was allowed to come back in this game. Now over to Tom Rinaldi with more on the Buckeyes.
Well, Maria, talking to Tony Alford, the running backs coach for the Buckeyes, and with Ryan Day, they said J.K. Dobbins is good to go despite being banged up at the end of that first half. That left ankle now taped. As for Wade being out due to the targeting call that we talked about, Amir Reep is going to have to fill in. Ryan Day said we have a lot of confidence in him. He's played a lot. He's going to have to play some more.
Fields throwing from his end zone, completes the pass to Victor, who's got first down across the 15.
And again, Ryan Day, he is not going to change. Tommy asked him coming off, what do you need to do? And he basically was saying, let's just keep doing the same thing. You got to execute better. But Dobbins is down.
He is. Dobbins is in the opposite side of the field from where the play is. You can see the heavy tape on the left ankle that Tom talked about. Let's take a look at what happened on this play.
Just nobody touches him. He tried to, first time he probably had to move his body that way and felt something clearly that was not allowing him to continue, and he's walking off the field right now in the opposite direction of the bench into the locker room.
Yeah, he's going right to the nearest tunnel, it appears, and the man who exploded for 2 long runs in the first half but had a chance of pass receptions to perhaps build the lead. This is an awful sight for Ohio State fans.
Yeah, Shaun Wade already out. Now you lose potentially J.K. Dobbins, who is a superstar for this offense. Master Teague now steps in.
Teague, a freshman from Tennessee, averaged more than 6 per carry this season. He's no slouch, but he's no J.K.
More of a physical runner.
Nothing there on first down.
What you lose is that ability to explode. You saw that in the first half with J.K. Dobbins. He can hit a crease and immediately have that acceleration to get into that second, third level of a defense. You lose that now. Teague's a good back, but not the same at this stage of his career as Dobbins.
Fields sets up, delivers a strike to Hill, and makes a sliding catch out near the 40. Another accurate throw from Fields.
Yeah, he has to squeeze this in behind the safety who's cheating up. Finds that spot right in the zone, right behind him, and K.J. Hill does a nice job where Fields throws him open into the hole in the zone.
22-yard pickup, and now looking to throw again on first down. It's a sideline route, and Olave goes up, high points the ball, and they'll move to 6 again, the ball at midfield.
And a really good job by this offensive line communicating and giving Fields time to throw. You talk to anybody when it comes to defending, going against Clemson's defense, it's can your offensive line communicate, pick up the exotic blitzes and the pressures that Venables will throw at you. They've been holding their own so far most of this game.
Wisconsin's defense had some success confusing him, pressuring him in the first half. As Dobbins makes the long walk to the locker room, and Teague filling in for him, gets the handoff and is going to be, well, wrestled down after a very hard-earned 1-yard gain.
And that's what I'm talking about. You can see how physical of a runner he is. He ran out of a couple tackles there. Skowski looked like he had him wrapped up. Isaiah Simmons, Nolan Turner came in there. So while you lose that ability to accelerate, you do pick up a guy that can bounce off of some would-be tacklers.
Well, if you're Dobbins, without him, you're not sure if Fields' knee is 100%.
You got to start throwing.
Play call and challenge for Ryan Day. Let's see if they do continue to throw the ball, and they'll run Fields. It's a power straight ahead. It'll set up a 3rd and 6.
That's exactly what it is a quarterback power. Wait on that left guard to pull around. Jonah Jackson try to clean that up. I think Ryan Day really calling that play just to give him a more manageable third down. Now these receivers with Dobbins down, they've got to continue to make plays and get separation to help Fields out.
KJ Hill comes in motion, was slot left. They've looked to him 8 times tonight, targeted 8 times already. Fields trying to escape, and he can't get away. Thought he had some green grass, but Tyler Davis, the defensive tackle, stopped him. It's 4th down.
So again, this is what Brent Venables will do. He's going to show you the double blitz here, but then they drop, and they end up bringing Isaiah Simmons off to the left. So it affects the communication, and it makes Fields feel that, and he has to step out to give himself even a chance. But give Venables a tip of the cap there for drawing that one up there on 3rd down.
Buckeyes moving 52 yards to flip the field, and now Crispin will try to do what he does very well, which is knock the ball dead and pin Clemson back. It's high with backspin. Rodgers lets it go, and Ohio State turned to execute perfectly as Olave gets down there at the 1-yard line. That's where Trevor Lawrence and the Tigers will take over. The PlayStation player impact ratings. No tackles yet for Chase Young. He has 1 quarterback pressure right there against Lawrence.
It's almost like he's just a step off of being able to get to Trevor Lawrence. He's not been able to make the impact yet in this game, but you can see how close he is. Lawrence doing a good job of feeling that, getting the ball out quick. Boy, they are pinned deep in their own territory here.
Lawrence from deep in his end zone takes a deep shot downfield, looking for Ross. Okudah, no way. Tough to beat number 1, who is a unanimous All-American, the first corner at Ohio State to ever get that honor.
6'1", 200 pounds, can run with any receiver. You can see he was up tight again, drops, bails, and then he locates the ball and keeps his body in great position to keep Ross away from being able to get to the football. Looks like now Ross is out.
He landed on his shoulder and was favoring his right arm as he came to the sidelines. Lawrence is rolling on 2nd down, delivers a shot in the flat, and Higgins tries to muscle his way to a 1st down. Reap stopped him just, I believe, a few inches short. Here's another look at the incompletion. Earlier on, it was the net, as Maria reported, that was the problem for Ross, and he kind of is tripped up late. Lands on his shoulder. Didn't look like a lot there, but came off to the field with that right arm hanging at his side.
Kind of another one of those fluke injuries, very similar to T. Higgins.
By the way,
you can't really predict that he would go down from that fall.
Higgins showed his physicality and made the 1st down there, so the Tigers some breathing room. Another short throw and catch, and Higgins this time will be corralled very quickly there by Okudah.
You know, with Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott calling plays for Clemson, that's usually how they attack. Is they want to stretch you sideline to sideline with a lot of quick throws and a lot of times ETN outside runs, and then stretch you vertically with some shots. But Ross continues to be looked at, and then also run the ball. So it's just a combination of things. They've really yet to get that all going.
Lawrence still under 50% throwing, 11 for 23 for a guy who's close to 70% on the season. Here's another run, and he has taken some shots tonight. He spun back into traffic, no fumble. He was down beforehand, and that time Chase Young did make an impact play along with Browning.
Going right at Chase Young on the option here. They attack him, but he does a good job of kind of keeping Trevor Lawrence in a guessing game there on the option, and Barrett Browning keeping those linemen off of him, able to get there with his ability to scrape through that traffic.
All right, Kirk, here's a big 3rd down play. They need 6 to avoid having to punt it back and perhaps give Ohio State good field position. From the pocket, Lawrence has protection, looking downfield, trying to get it to Amari Rodgers. Close coverage by Reap, who does his job, and it's 4th down.
Well, they went after Reap. Again, Reap in for Shaun Wade. It was more about the matchup, but a very low percentage throw here by Clemson. A good coverage by Reap. I mean, he is in phase, stride for stride, stays on top, and then does a good job of looking back at the quarterback to locate the football.
And Rodgers, who battled so hard to come back from an ACL in the spring, one of the Clemson's best receivers with yards after the catch, has been held in check tonight. Spires to punt. Wilson standing at his 45. Buckeyes come after it, and they knock the punter down. Now we'll see if it's a 5 or a 15-yard penalty. If it's the 5-yarder, it wouldn't be a first down. But if it's another Ohio State personal foul, it could be another crucial mistake.
It looked like a personal foul to me. I don't think he ran into him
Agreed.
at all.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense number 26. 15-yard penalty for the previous 5.
Yeah.
That's Cameron
Automatic
Brown,
first down.
backup corner. Another mental mistake, and Clemson's drive is now prolonged.
That's right. Olave, Cameron Brown, Ohio State dials up the pressure with Clemson pinned back deep by their own end zone. The AT&T pylon cam showing you the contact there, and that is not running in to the punter.
7th penalty in Ohio State. Another major penalty, and now the Tigers are set up at the 30-yard line.
Remember, the third down play with the targeting call gave them a first down. It would have been 4th down. Now they catch a break here on this punt to keep another drive alive.
The Fields has to wait. Justin Ross, by the way, back in the game. And this is Dixon spinning free. Cut it back. And a productive gain out near midfield for Lynn J. Dixon.
Watch again. Landers gets in, and what a good job by Dixon. Feeling that, putting his foot in the ground, cuts back the other way. This play's designed to run to the left, but because of the penetration by the interior, 67 Landers, he decides to put his foot in the ground and cut all the way back and picks up big yards. Another Ohio State player.
That's
now.
Jeff Okudah, the unanimous All-American corner. It's a test for this defense. They thought they were off the field. They were. Now suddenly having to try to keep Lawrence at bay.
This season, keep your scores in your The PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, brought to you by AT&T. Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem. And Samsung QLED TV. Watch the CFP National Championship in 4K for the first time ever.
It was just after Clemson's emphatic shutout of Ohio State here 3 years ago that Ryan Day was hired as offensive coordinator, along with Kevin Wilson, brought in to make some changes, and they certainly have to this offense. Wilson and Brent Venables, of course, staff mates for years at Oklahoma, used to go back and forth on the practice field there. Good news is that J.K. Dobbins came running out and was testing that ankle on the sidelines at the timeout.
Okudah is out. We'll see how long he is out. Looked really almost like he was cramping.
So it's Cameron Brown, Kirk, on T. Higgins on the far side of the formation. Ross split wide left. He looked left, flipped back in traffic to Etienne, who slips the tackle. Etienne into the secondary, knifing to the end zone. Tigers take the lead.
Remember,
53 yards.
Etienne, they can't get him out running the ball, so they try to get him in the passing game. Malik Harrison has him. You can see Simpson gets out there, but now he's in the open field. Great blocks downfield by these wide receivers. Overton 14 with a big block. You can see 76, the center Pollard way downfield. And Travis Etienne is as explosive as any running back in college football. And when he's got room and starts to run downhill, look out.
Not a big impact as a runner tonight, but as a receiver, an electric play. Once again, an Ohio State major penalty. The roughing the punter call against Brown gives new life to the Tigers offense, and they go 99 yards for a touchdown to take their first lead tonight, 21-16 for the defending champions. All season long, Curtis Wilson crisscrossing the country, the All-State bus. What's your All-State mayhem moments?
Well, because LSU won today, I figured we'd look at the LSU Tigers early in the year, September 7th. This is when we learned that Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers were different. On the road, in a competitive game, in a tough atmosphere, they call a pass instead of working the clock and running the ball. Aggressive mindset paid off for them and really set the tone for an incredible 2019 year for Burrow and the Tigers.
493, threw for 7, ran for 1. It was here in this field against UCF in last year's Fiesta Bowl when many believe that the Joe Burrow legend was born. tough comeback win. Tom Rinaldi, what can you tell us about J.K. Dobbins' status?
Chris, athletic training staff said Dobbins went to the locker room, took the shoe off, had it retaped, would not be ruled out of this game, was going to do all he could to return, and there he is jogging back to be a part of this next offensive series. J.K. Dobbins, a gamer, giving it all he can. They did not specify the nature of the injury, Chris, but we certainly could see the heavy tape on that left ankle.
Yeah, it was a non-contact situation. He slumped to the turf and headed to the locker room and has come back looking like a new man. Ohio State down for the first time tonight. They fake it to Dobbins. Fields, a long throw, sidelines, almost intercepted. Darian Kendrick was in tight coverage against Mack and thinks he should have had it.
Well, that is a long throw and really good coverage by Kendrick, who is anticipating that comeback. Does a good job of turning around. He does everything perfect. That is outstanding coverage and a long throw. He's able to react to it. Just gets his right hand on the ball and unable to come up with that interception. But, man, that was good coverage.
Receiver who wasn't sure he wanted to play defensive back, but decided to go along with the coach's request. High school quarterback, tremendous athlete.
Sometimes they bring this corner blitz here. I think Ohio State's sensing that. Venables loves to bring the corner off the boundary.
And by making that move, Day will spend a timeout in the first of the second half. Midway, third quarter. It's Clemson in front now by 5. College Football Playoff National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. Clemson's got a couple of them, trying to make it 3 in 4 years, which would be truly astounding. A lot of work to be done, though. Ohio State taking over at the 25, behind suddenly.
What was Ohio State doing in the first half that gave Clemson trouble? Attacking, tempo, getting them on their heels. We've not seen that in the last 3 or 4 possessions. And until they get a first down, it's hard to create that tempo.
Dobbins testing that ankle, runs left, lowers his head and gains 2.
They are really attacking the line of scrimmage right now. I think they're feeling confident about the matchups on the outside. Terrell on one side, Kendrick on the other, frees up their safeties and backers to try to attack downhill, especially on early downs. Then it gets Venables to third down, where he gets creative and tries to affect the O-line and the quarterback.
Buckeyes need 8.
See a late adjustment on both sides.
Here comes the pressure. Fields, he'll be swarmed and sacked. Balin Spector, the backup linebacker, made the play. It's 4th down.
Again, we keep talking about how confusing this is. You're going to get pressure from the outside. You're going to get pressure here, and you're going to get pressure delayed here. Watch how this comes around. See the linebacker freeze up that time. Spector, who's a great athlete, and he knows on 3rd and long he's got a chance to get to the quarterback, and that time they do.
First sack of the year for Spector. Fields had no chance. He came around the offensive lineman and was in his face suddenly. Ohio State, last 4 possessions, 4 punts, 3 and outs. Rogers slipped a tackle. Did he do so again? No, he'll be dragged down at the 27-yard line. NFC's Wild Card Weekend begins Saturday, January 4th. We'll broadcast our Wild Card game simultaneously on ABC and ESPN for the 5th straight year. Matchup, day and time of the game, that's going to be determined after this weekend's games. Also, it'll be on the ESPN app.
Just want to wish Mike Vrabel, former Ohio State Buckeye, current head coach of the Tennessee Titans, all the best. They have a big game this weekend against the Houston Texans. They win that game, they secure a spot in the wild card.
So the Tigers now trying to build on the lead. They give it to the touchdown scorer, Etienne, who runs sideways, but Browning wouldn't let him get the corner. Gain is 1.
Boy, Baron Browning, he's had a remarkable year. A highly talented linebacker, came in the first couple years, not able to really get on the field much. This year in his new system, he has flourished. Just seems like he's been freed up, making a lot of plays like that, sideline to sideline, with tremendous speed and instincts.
Buckeyes' best DB, Jeff Okudah, is back in the game now.
right there, backing out.
On 2nd and 9, Lawrence gets away from the pressure from it, but he'll be dropped. Davon Hamilton, the man teammates call the Hulk, made the sack.
Well, he has had a great year himself on the interior. You know, you always get caught up in watching this, but he goes around Carmen, and it frees up the interior to eventually get there. Carmen does a good job of forcing Chase Young to the outside, but the push in the middle and good coverage downfield. Eventually, the big fella, Davon Hamilton, gets home.
He looks like the Hulk, doesn't he?
He does.
But he moves quick.
310 pounds out of Pickerington, Ohio.
Now Young hoping to make his first impact play, knocking down the quarterback in that three-point stance on 3rd and 19. Lawrence. Young was getting close, and the pass is complete and fumbled. And the Buckeyes pick it up. And barreling into the end zone is Jordan Fuller. They called it a catch and a fumble and a scoop and score. That'll be reviewed, but a potential game-changing play for the Scarlet and Gray now.
The one question is, was he bobbling the ball is the one question. That's what they're going to probably take a peek at. Was he bobbling this football, or did he have possession? Akuda, tight coverage.
Ooh, I don't know.
Boy, he's holding on to that football. He has possession of that ball. That's a catch.
On the field with a catch, a fumble, and return for a touchdown. The previous play is under review.
I think he had it long enough. I agree. And Akuda getting that long arm out there. That's why he's frustrated he didn't win the Thorpe Award. He felt he was the best defensive back in the country this year.
Absolutely, and he's very deserving to think that. How about the long arms? We talked all week the matchup, the Ohio State corners against the Clemson wide receivers, and the length. Akuda knocks that ball loose, and the safety, Jordan Fuller, right there to pick it up for the touchdown. Here's real speed to give you an idea what they're looking at. And because the ball wasn't bobbled, that's a possession and a fumble in my mind, Bill.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. He did not have time to make a football move. When we look at these things in slow motion, you can make anything look like a catch.
Yeah.
At regular speed, he did not finish the process of the catch. I have an incomplete.
Viewers are always confused. A football move. He took
what
a
is a
couple of
football
steps
move?
with the ball.
I want to see him turn upfield, take some steps. I want to see him dive. I don't see enough on this turn. When he's hitting, the ball comes out. I have an incomplete pass.
Let's look at this view right here. Boy, I'm glad I'm not in that replay booth making that call. Well, I don't know how you guys do it.
I mean,
that looks like he took 3 steps.
Real speed, Bill, is very different from replay. This is a replay review. Are you saying they're not going to take into account what it looked like in slow motion?
I want to take and look at slow motion when we're talking about a foot at the sideline or the end line. But when we're talking about the ball's in, he's being hit, I want to see that at real speed.
But again, it was ruled on the field a catch and the fumble, so they have to see 100% that it overturns it.
Indisputable video evidence has to reverse it.
What a massive review for this SEC crew. Gerald Hodges and the 3 folks in the replay center.
After further review, the pass is ruled as incomplete. Therefore, it will be 4th and 19 at the 20-yard line.
Well, Bill,
they agree with you, and a massive overturn here.
Bill, good call there. I thought, you look at it again in real speed. Bill makes a lot of great points that I don't understand. I'm not an official. I mean, that looks like a football move to me with taking 2 or 3 steps. But, Bill, you make a lot of great points. You understand the rules a lot better than we do. But, man, oh, man, that looks like he has caught that ball and fumbled it. That was a 3rd down play and will force Clemson to punt the football.
But Ohio State had the call on the field, stood, but have the lead right now. I bet you they don't come after this punt. They roughed Spires the last time. They peel back, and Wilson will have a go. No fair catch, and dances around a short return to the 46. Tomorrow night, a special Sunday night NBA matchup on ESPN and the app. As LeBron and the Lakers host the Dallas Mavericks. Coverage begins at 9 o'clock Eastern time with NBA Countdown, and Mavs-Lakers at 9:30 on ESPN. Is Maria going to jet out there and be involved in advance of the Rose Bowl coverage?
Yeah, I hope so. I know, you know, Maria, that LeBron James is kicking up his feet right now, I'm sure, watching this game, cheering on his Buckeyes.
Hey, Fowler, actually, I am going right out there. I'm doing countdown from L.A.
Hey, Taylor, I knew you could do it. But you're right about LeBron. He sent Beats headphones, by the way, to all the Buckeyes players and kind of advised them to make the most of their opportunity. It's a run all the way, and Fields will fall forward for about 3.
More I watched the adjustments we talked about at halftime. Boy, a couple of Clemson players go down. Skalski and the 2 inside linebackers. Chad Smith is down as well.
Fields was slow to get up, readjusting that brace. We've seen limited effectiveness with him as a runner tonight.
Yeah.
He's been more effective throwing the football. But I tell you that you can see the physical nature of this game. What these teams are pouring into this thing, which is everything they've got and then some. And we had guys on both sides go down, try to come back, gritting their teeth big time.
And then you see Justin Fields stretching. I think he got cramps, probably trying to stretch the calves out. We're seeing a lot of players are dealing with a lot of things, not just the physicality. Just, you know, we saw Kuda go down with some cramping. Now you see Justin Fields. Skalski's dealing with some stuff.
Smith got up and walked off okay.
Well, what I started to say was about Venables. We talk about halftime adjustments. What he has done is he's been able to crank up pressure more, attacking the run game, whether it's Dobbins or Fields, leaving corners on islands. Ohio State's going to have to throw the ball. Comes Skalski in.
You left to your screen. You see Skalski rolled up
right into his partner. Yeah.
And so Jake Venables, Brent's son, freshman linebacker, is in the game. And Fields steps up, downfield shot, loop ball, and Olave could not fight back through Darian Kendrick. Ohio State fans not getting the flag they've called for there.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. You have to be able to attack downfield. If they're going to play that kind of defense where they're loading up, receivers got to win, you got to get the ball downfield. That's a great matchup with the speed of Kendrick. And, of course, Olave, who's a big playmaker for the Ohio State offense. Kendrick's body in between Olave and the football and unable to cut back to the ball.
Not explosive plays in the pass game for Ohio State. The longest play is 24 yards. And now, after failing on their last 5 third downs, they need 8 here.
Where's the pressure coming from?
It's picked up, and Fields delivers. Intercepted. Simmons dancing down the sidelines, made the key pick, the first turnover of the game. The All-American Butkus Award winner.
This is what makes Isaiah Simmons so good, is his range. He plays so many different positions. He's sitting way back here, and eventually he's able to get back into coverage. You'll see the corner blitz come from over here, which is picked up. But watch 11 go to the middle, work his way, follow the quarterback's eyes, and then use that speed, closing speed, to make the interception for the Clemson defense. Eyes it, sees it, feels it, steps in front for the pick.
And Simmons, who was the 451st ranked recruit when he came out of Kansas, recruited personally by Brett Venables, has been making plays like that all year for the Tigers defense. Just the second pick of the season for Fields, and it sets up Clemson, and now Joseph Ngata makes the catch, takes a hit, but moves the sticks.
Gives you an idea of the depth that they have. They brought in Ngata this year as a true freshman out of California, along with Frank Ladson, another freshman. Very similar builds to T. Higgins and Justin Ross. He's 6'3", comes up with a great catch using just his hands.
And suddenly it's the Ohio State defense that feels like it's on the ropes right now. Clemson spent most of the first half in that position. Tigers trying to stretch the lead here. And Lawrence keeping all the way. Makes a little inside move and then gets the corner and runs away from Harrison and scoots for a nice gain into Buckeye territory.
That's how they took advantage of Chase Young's aggressive nature to try to rush the quarterback. He tries to get upfield and close, and nobody blocks him. Eventually, Suravinka does, but by then, Trevor Lawrence was able to just get outside of Chase Young, who lost contain there.
And Lawrence, who had the big 67-yard touchdown run, is approaching 100 yards on the ground tonight, 86. They fake it to Dixon. They flip it short. Higgins in traffic is hit immediately and dropped for a loss after the catch by Harrison.
Surprised they went back into the boundary where there's just not a lot of real estate, not a lot of room to run for the receiver. They create that stack look, to free up the second receiver who's on the back side of the front receiver to try to get him freed up to make a play, but just nowhere for Higgins to go with great speed in pursuit there by the Buckeye defense.
What's the call here now, Kirk? 3rd and 6 for the Tigers offense.
Again, you got to rely on the quarterback because he can run it. Give him a play where he's got the threat to make a read and make the throw, or pull it down and take off and go. Dabo Swinney wants to call a timeout.
Had 3 receivers bunched to the right, but the play clock was winding down, and Dabo's sensing the importance of this 3rd down. Again, they've got the Ohio State defense sort of on their heels, and Clemson, chance to stretch the lead. 21 unanswered points here. And you just had a feeling that the red zone opportunities where the Tigers defense stepped up, forced field goals was going to be a huge role. And then, of course, penalties have played a massive role for Ohio State.
You get to this point in the season, and it's a big-time playoff game with so much at stake. You look at the two teams on paper. Everybody all week, what do you think? What's going to happen? This is kind of what you thought. Ebb and flow, momentum changes, both sides. Who at the end of the day is going to be able to capture and take advantage and capitalize on most of their opportunities? Right now, Clemson's starting to have that momentum. It's a long way from being over. It's turnovers are out there, field position, which quarterback can make a play, which receiver can get separation. Big plays are ultimately going to decide the outcome of the game.
Very different semifinal from the first one in Atlanta when LSU basically knocked out Oklahoma in the first quarter. Joe Burrow throwing for 7 touchdowns, all in the first half, running for 1. This one very much up for grabs.
10 defenders up tight within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, just one safety back deep.
And they bring pressure and they get him. Baron Browning from the linebacker position, and the Buckeye defense makes a crucial stop.
Well, they move Chase Young to the inside and bring Baron Browning. Chase Young is here. Baron Browning, the linebacker, here on 3rd down, and they can't double team Chase Young. It's one-on-one with Baron Browning. He's able to get there. Chase Young as well, and a good call there by Jeff Hafley, moving Chase Young around.
Hafley said the faster the game, the bigger the role for Baron Browning. It's a fast-moving game right now, and number 5 makes a huge play. 3rd sack for the Ohio State defense, adding to their impressive total. Wilson waiting the punt as Spires rolls out and kicks it rugby style. And it's a dangerous play. The freshman fielding it on the hop up near his head. Knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Of course, all season long, for every field goal and PAT, Allstate makes a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate. So the Ohio State offense, which has been frustrated, you pointed out, Kirk, unable to recreate that tempo and the aggression we saw in the first 25 minutes of the game.
You know, I know you love the Australian style punting. I thought he might take off there. The Ohio State punt coverage team, watch them. They kind of start to run and take off. Look at the room that he has. I thought he was maybe thinking about taking off and running.
Had he, would have made the first down.
He would have had a shot.
So Fields needs a spark here. Finds Mack in the flat. It's a short gain out near the 25. Kendrick stopped him.
Ball underneath. You know, Clemson's been playing a lot tighter with Kendrick and Terrell on their edges. That time with soft coverage, an easy read and throw for Fields. But here comes that tempo.
So Fields has to regroup after just his 2nd interception of the season. Finds K.J. Hill. The other interception was basically on a trick play that went wrong. So this by far of the biggest interception he's thrown in his college career, and must bounce back right here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's more about trying to find that rhythm, and a first down helps you be able to do that. Now Ryan Day, we go back to that chess match with Ryan Day and Brent Venables. He's calling the plays.
Dobbins running right, makes a cut, runs out of a tackle, and falls forward for about 5.
You can see the difference between he and Master Teague, who came in for him when he went out with that ankle that's taped up. Just at such a different level of quickness that this Clemson defense has to deal with. Master Teague has a bright future, just a young player, but Dobbins, one of the top backs in the country.
Pump fake for Fields, who wanted to look downfield, checks it down to Hill, who is going to step out of bounds short of the marker by about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down, final 30 seconds of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Nolan Turner did not catch that bait. He tried to go with a quick pump to K.J. Hill and thought the defense might react up, but Turner stayed back. which is good discipline by him, and it forces Fields to just dump it down to K.J. Hill. I mean, they have had pressure dealing with these third downs. All these guys are in play on who's coming and who's dropping.
Fields and a whistle before the snap. And a false start will back him up. So this will be 3rd now and 9 yards to go.
False start. Offense number 17. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
It's the receiver Olave. Ohio State Kirk just 4 for 13 on 3rd downs. Clemson's made life miserable for opponents all season long.
They're one of the best in the country and have been for a number of years with Brent Venables. It's his specialty. He said they work harder on 3rd down than anything during the week to prepare for an opponent. And it changes every week. You can't really get a feel for it because it's a different package every week.
And the 3rd and long play will be the first play of the final quarter with a spot in the championship game on the line. Clemson leads by 5. You're watching the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl on ESPN. Terrific battle set for the final quarter. College football playoff semifinal number 2 at the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. 16 straight for Ohio State. 21 in a row for Clemson, including the only points in the 3rd quarter. And Dabo Swinney's team hoping to get the football back if they can stop Ohio State on this 3rd and 9.
And Josh Myers, the center for Ohio State. You can see him pointing right now. He and Justin Fields trying to get on the same page on these 3rd downs. He's ultimately affecting the protection, which way to slide, who they try to account for. It's very challenging when Clemson shows blitz one way. Sometimes they come, sometimes they drop and come from the other direction. We sat down with him the other day, and he said, man, it's like preparing for a final because there's just so much to prepare for.
If they disagree, the quarterback gets his say of the correct protection, by the way. They're showing blitz right up the A-gap.
Right here, Simmons on one side there.
Instead, they peel back, and Fields has time. And surveys and dumps it down to Dobbins, who makes the catch and scoots for a 1st down out near midfield.
You know, a great job by the offensive line, not being fooled. Simmons drops out of there. Muse does as well. His eyes affect Muse right here. That makes Muse work to the middle, and then late he comes to the outside. But by looking into the middle of that defense, Tanner Muse reacted to that, opened up that left boundary for the check down there to J.K. Dobbins for the 1st.
Spotted out at the 43. Finally, they convert on 3rd down. There's been a drought. Fields looking to throw on 1st down. Here comes the blitz. They can't get him to the ground yet, but then he slips. Instant pressure. Skalski came flying in there. Fields had just a second to regroup, but couldn't get away from Spector and Foster.
Yeah, they do a good job of bringing Skalski. Dobbins is trying to find out where to chip, where to help out. And right there, I thought Fields might just take off and go, but the hesitation allows the rest of that defense to be able to corral him. Nice job by Dobbins there. Now Fields has got to get out of there. This defense is too fast to wait. You either got to get rid of the ball or take off and go.
As you say, take off or just throw it out of bounds. Instead, it's a 5-yard loss. And they come after him again. From the pocket, trying to escape, looking to launch, fires sideline. Nice hands catch made by Victor right at the marker.
That's why you do all those drills as a wide receiver. That's what separates great receivers and veteran receivers is ability to use your hands. And with his length, he's able to make that catch.
After the 1st down, they're playing with tempo. Long throw to Mack, who cuts back, takes a shot, and knocked down for 9. They're trying to get that aggressive tempo going.
Trying to go tempo, and you know what? Venables is not pulling back from his pressure. Blitzed again that time, so it's kind of tempo against tempo. But you notice Ohio State starting to gain some momentum here in the way they're attacking.
2nd and 1. It's Dobbins who cuts it back and plows for a 1st down inside the 35.
Just for people that understand that when you go tempo like that, not only is it hard to get lined up, you have to communicate the call and make sure everybody is on the same page defensively. And because you're thinking so much, you lose a little bit of that speed and a little bit of that downhill play.
On 1st down, they dump it down to Dobbins. Dobbins against Simmons, who's just able to force him out. That's great athlete versus great athlete. They pick up 7.
And Skalski actually has J.K. Dobbins, but because of the way they're blitzing those two inside linebackers, nobody there to pick up J.K. Dobbins, who leaks out of the backfield. We've seen that a couple times now where he's been on this drive, been able to work out of the backfield, and Fields, nobody open downfield, so he's checked down to an open open running back.
Buckeyes made subs that allows Clemson to do the same, so both teams kind of taking a breather here as Dobbins limps again.
Well, he's leaving it out on the field tonight.
Teague in the game on 2nd 4. Fake run, looking to throw. No one was open. The Tigers were not fighting. So 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, you might be thinking, what the heck is he doing there? He's just trying to sink and show that he is running, trying to get the safeties and the linebackers to bite on that. But Chris, you're right. They sat back, weren't biting that at all. Nobody open. He just throws it away, which is a smart call there. Now they got a shot here on 3rd down and 4.
Now Dobbins back in the game.
How much rest, right? Limping over there, you got to come back in on a big down.
Instead of digging deep on both sides. And it's Dobbins trying to push forward on that Gippy angle. Did not get there. Foster has played a whale of a game, the backup defensive end. And it's 4th down and a long yard.
And that's one that Justin Fields would probably love to pull on its own read. The end collapsed down. If he pulled that, he walks for a 1st down.
Day not hesitating. And on 4th down, Fields again tries to bait the defense. Throws end zone. Touchdown, Olave! And OSU reclaims the lead.
Well, they got a matchup that they wanted in a gutsy play call by Ryan Day. Nolan Turner, who's a great safety, but he's matched up one-on-one against Ohio State, maybe their best route runner, and Chris Olave. It's a mismatch. You can see he gets that separation, and a good throw by Fields as he leads him into the end zone, but well-designed play to get Olave matched up against Nolan Turner.
Breaks the 21-point run by Clemson, so a hasty decision there to go for it on 4th down. You telling me Day can spot that mismatch right there and make that call that quick? Wow.
Incredible. Incredible. I think he saw from earlier formations that he might be able to get this matchup and didn't. You notice they didn't hesitate. That was not a look over. They went quickly, and Ryan Day knew exactly what he wanted. He knows he's got a chance. They give him time to make the throw. He does. The Buckeyes take the lead.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. The best part of every kickoff is the drive that comes next. Go further with Goodyear. More driven. Much like the early touchdown drive, Fields was in a beautiful rhythm on that drive. 8 for 9, 83 yards, and a 23-yard strike to Olave on a 4th and 1. They didn't go for 2.
Surprising.
Kick the PAT to keep the lead at 2. Don't know the reasoning behind that from Ryan Day. And the kickoff is hammered out of the back of the end zone. Another look at the touchdown.
I go back to Justin Fields, 4th and 1. Everybody's thinking run. Clemson has 9 guys up here close to the line of scrimmage. But watch the eyes of Justin Fields. He sees the matchup right now. He moves the tight end over Ruckert. Now he knows he's got a matchup with Olave. Patient. It's just a one-on-one matchup. Backyard football. Make the throw. There's no safeties there. You got a safety on an island with everybody anticipating a run on 4th and 1, and a great throw, great execution.
Seeing his ice water in the veins. The sophomore, now Lawrence again. Again, the first time in his career tonight he's had to take snaps as a quarterback behind in the 2nd half. And again, he takes off. Almost another huge play. Finally, Fuller able to corral him, but it's a 1st down across the 40.
You know, a lot of people probably watching saying, why aren't they running ETN more? It's because you get numbers. It's an advantage. ETN becomes a blocker, and if Ohio State doesn't bring people down inside the box to defend quarterback run, he has room, and he's a capable runner, as you've seen tonight. 14 rushes at 94 yards.
Maybe better than capable. Here he is. Did you think that Lawrence would have more than double the rushing yards compared to Travis Etienne into the 4th quarter of this game?
I thought he'd run it about 15 times tonight, but I didn't think he'd have more than Etienne. He takes another hit here. But again, he's showing the toughness to be able to handle that. That time it's Warner who hits him. He gets right back up. But keep in mind, man, he's 6'6". He's 220 pounds. He's like, it's hitting a tight end.
Added about 15 pounds of muscle, much stronger this year to take hits like that. Look at it throw, fires across the middle. Okudah broke it up. got that left arm in front of Higgins, and Young knocked down the quarterback that time.
Yeah, Young finally gets there, forces the ball out a little bit earlier maybe, but this the matchup. Okudah and those long arms against T. Higgins, gets away with a little hold there, but is able to knock that ball away.
I was talking to Bill Lamond. You can grab a jersey as a defender as long as you don't really tug or impede him from running and jumping. That felt like borderline there. And now it sets up 3rd and 9.
Chase Young way out here.
They bring late pressure, completion to Ross, but they swarm him. He stopped way short of the first down by Josh Proctor, and now it's 4th down.
Jeff Hafley rally to the football, leverage the ball, keep everything in front, and make a tackle. There's Ross again, man, who's had a rough night dealing with injuries.
Down for the 3rd time.
They brought the same blitz that Sean Wade blitzed and got to him and got thrown out for a targeting call. This time it just makes him get the ball out quick. And you can see all those scarlet jerseys rallying to the ball.
Yeah, 3 Buckeyes getting Ross to the ground is kind of bent in half. It was a neck, it was a shoulder earlier tonight. All kind of dudes paying the price. John Simpson, the guard, limping around as Ross makes his way to the sideline.
Yeah, I can't remember a playoff game that had this many players deep into the game that are dealing with a variety of injuries and fighting through them. It tells you what's at stake here and what these guys are fighting for.
So Lawrence unable to produce on that drive, and now Ohio State will get the football back. Wilson way back at his 14-yard line. You'd expect a less aggressive approach after that critical roughing the punter penalty prolonged the drive that ended up in a Clemson touchdown. They don't come after it this time, and Spires rolls and kicks his rugby punt line drive, so they've used that a couple of times now. Very effective. It's going to roll dead way down at the 11-yard line. 10 minutes to play in Glendale. Buckeyes up by 2.
The PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, brought to you by PlayStation 4, the best place to play. The Nachos Party Pack from Taco Bell. And Dos Equis, keep it interessante. Please enjoy Dos Equis responsibly.
Well, New Orleans is going to be the place to be, of course. Learn about the events and the festivities planned for the CFP's championship campus at collegefootballplayoff.com. Bayou Bengals awaiting the winner of this hard-hitting game. And we're just talking, Kirk, it's a good thing that the winner is going to get 15 days before that championship game because they have spent everything they've got.
You're not lying. You put 2 teams that are very aggressive, very confident in who they are and their brand, and they collide. You're going to get this kind of game, a competitive game and a hard-hitting game.
Now Ohio State just trying to avoid a mistake, work on the clock, add the lead if they can. But you wonder whether the aggressive approach will continue. They roll, they try to find the tight end that overshot Ruckert.
Yeah, Austin Mack got tackled that time by a Clemson defender. Looked like Kayvon Wallace as he was running his route. There's 2 flags that went right at that contact by Wallace.
Holding against an eligible receiver, number 12, the defense. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Includes an automatic first down.
On the inside here, he's trying to run a route, and Wallace kind of wraps him up, brings him down. You see the official at the top of the screen grabs his flag right there.
Gives the Buckeyes some breathing room. First down now at the 21. Dobbins worms his way, powers his way, muscles his way for a first down. If they can continue to run up the middle, that would make Ryan Day very happy in this situation.
You go back to your strength, the interior. Great push by that offensive line that time. Good hard running by J.K. Dobbins, especially considering he's dealing with that left ankle. But that was a surge from the middle and a good push for the first down.
They fake it to Dobbins. Fields has to elude the rush and can't. And he'll take a huge loss as Kayvon Wallace came from the safety spot and knocked him down way inside the 20 now.
You know, when you bring this many blitzes, you create one-on-one opportunities. Linebackers are blitzing. Wallace is here. He goes up against the tight end, and watch him be able to work off of that tight end attempted block there in pass protection, a max protection, and he works off of the tight end Ruckert. All those one-on-one opportunities, someone's bound to get free with all that blitzing.
Remember that play, an 11-yard loss on first down. Now Fields looking to take a downfield shot. Olave broke the route off, and it's intercepted by Kendrick. Flags are down as Kendrick weaves his way for a return into Ohio State territory. Still running, and now steps out at the 31. Now we'll check the flag on the far side of the field.
He grabbed a hold of you can see Ryan Davis right in front of the Ohio State bench. He grabbed a hold of Olave. That's what made Olave quit on the route. Then he saw the football in the air, but this will come back and give Ohio State a first down.
Holding against an eligible receiver, number 1 of the defense. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot.
I've seen Ohio State penalties be important for Clemson. Now a couple of Tigers penalties on this drive.
It's a good matchup. Olave scored the last touchdown, and you can see that kind of a little stutter and go. He grabs a hold of him. A no-brainer there for the official. A little stutter and go caught Kendrick off guard. All he could do is just grab on there and not give up a potential big play.
Ball moved to the 31. Inside of 8.5 minutes. Dobbins slipped as he made the cut. Dimes forward for a couple.
You're dealing with an ankle. I think you're dealing with a slippery surface. I mean, it makes it that much tougher. See the speed of this defense trying to close in on Dobbins, who's got great lateral quickness, even with that ankle. Good shot there of his feet, able to keep his balance and avoid losing 2 or 3 yards.
It's a tough track to make a quick cut tonight. We've seen that.
They're coming again with pressure. Wallace has had success getting in.
KJ Hill comes back in motion. They bring the pressure. Fields fires near side, going up and making the catch is Garrett Wilson, and the freshman from Austin's made a big impact tonight.
I'll tell you, man, you got to be really impressed with any quarterback that faces a Clemson defense. You know you're going to get hit. And for him to sit in that pocket as poised as he has been, knowing that he's waiting on the receiver to try to get open and deliver the football, knowing as soon as he throws it, boom, he's going to get hit.
3rd and 1. And trying to sneak it is Fields. They're going to spot him right near the 41. Buckeyes signaling first down, but this is very close.
At first, it didn't look like he had it. Initially, the freshman Tyler Davis pushed back Josh Myers, but it was a second effort that gives him a chance here. Why? See Davis push it back. He's not going anywhere. Then, that second and third effort gets him there enough for the first down.
They are moving the sticks. Fields, an incredibly strong lower body. It's hard to appreciate on TV, but I promise you.
You're right about that. Notice that tempo that's been successful for them so much tonight is put on the shelf. Now it's more about working that clock with that 2-point lead.
Already 2 penalty has created first downs. The Buckeyes have been able to move it 30 yards so far, take almost 3 minutes off the clock. Dobbins cuts back into the middle, and he's dropped by Tanner Muse for a gain of 2.
What a great career Tanner Muse has had. I know Clemson fans love watching him play. Number 19, 6'2", 230 pounds, really plays downhill as a safety, almost at times like a linebacker in run support.
Had some picks early this season, actually leads the team with 4 interceptions, all ACC safety.
But late in a game like this, with Ohio State's run the ball, he and Isaiah Simmons both there in the middle will be coming downhill quite a bit.
Fields fires, catch made, Mack first down. They'll keep the drive alive and move it to the Tigers 45.
Again, good job by Fields. He knows that Tanner Muse is coming from his blind side right there. We just talked about 19. Sits in there, throws the ball accurately, looks to the strong side where he knows he has a favorable matchup in zone. And Austin Mack continues to have a big night for the Ohio State passing game.
These quarterbacks, both from the state of Georgia, 20 miles apart, both tremendous regular seasons. All the attributes, the physical skill set means very little without toughness. And both Lawrence and Fields have shown some tremendous physical and mental toughness tonight.
Yep.
First down. Dobbins cuts it back. Dobbins just tripped up by Simmons, who saved a huge gain.
Yeah, it was one-on-one with Tanner Muse and J.K. Dobbins. If Isaiah Simmons' shoestring tackle doesn't come through for Clemson, the cutback right here, the vision gets back, and then right there, Isaiah Simmons. Otherwise, Tanner Muse right there is the only defender left between Dobbins and that goal line.
It was screened off somewhat by an official there, too. So the long arms of Simmons, a crucial tackle. Still a 6-yard gain on first down, though. Buckeyes can snap it this time about the 5-minute mark. Dobbins again trying to get wide and cutting it back for a loss of 1. Foster stopped him 3rd and 5 now.
A nice job of slanting that same direction that Dobbins was going. Just nowhere for Dobbins to try to find that crease and make that cutback. Here we go again with a big 3rd down.
Oh, yeah. If the Buckeyes can't make 5 of the decision to make, perhaps give the football back to Trevor Lawrence with a chance to win the game in the closing minutes.
Ryan Day and Justin Fields have been aggressive. They found matchups.
Fields, bubble screen. Mack makes the catch, will not make the yardage. Chad Smith knocked him down. And it's 4th down, ball just inside the Clemson 40.
And you go back to whether or not they should have gone for 2 to try to get it to a 3-point lead. They're sitting on a 2-point lead. Affects the strategy of what you're doing on both sides of the game. A field goal, if Clemson were able to get the ball, obviously would win the game instead of potentially tying it.
Drew Chrisman, tremendous punter. Punting is not a big part of the Ohio State season. They've been so effective scoring. And now, is it going to be a fake? He runs up like he's going to take the snap under center. Remember the pass that he threw against Wisconsin? And just trying to bait the Tigers into jumping offside here. That was exciting for a second.
It was. He sold it with the aggressive approach there for sure.
He came charging up under center, but Clemson was not going to buy it. You jump offside there, Ohio State would have had a first down and a chance to chew on more clock. As it is, he'll take the 5, back it up, and now Crispin will try to pin Lawrence back deep.
You saw Dabo Swinney talking to the official. I think it had everything to do with him giving that hard count. Quarterbacks cannot give that hard count. Crispin was giving that hard head count, trying to draw the defense off.
Empty possession for Ohio State with an asterisk because they took more than 6.5 minutes off the clock by moving the ball 45 yards. Those 2 defensive holding penalties on Clemson were important as well. And let's see if Crispin can execute perfectly again and give the Tigers a very long field to try to drive for a potential go-ahead field goal. Kick very high with backspin. The coverage team trots down there, and it actually bounced off a Clemson Tiger. It hit Kendrick. He was fortunate to maintain control. Wow. From the 6, T-Law takes over. Take a look at AT&T's best performance. Justin Fields has been efficient tonight throwing the football.
Yeah, very efficient at times. He's had to keep some plays alive. This gives you an idea really of the night. Watch this to the far right. Vision, recognizing coverage, dropping, comes underneath, patiently reading that coverage. This is, of course, recognizing it on 4th and 2. Gets a one-on-one matchup. That Olave wins against Nolan Turner for the go-ahead touchdown.
And now how great is this? Tigers take over. Trevor Lawrence, who hasn't lost a game as a quarterback since he was in high school 25 months ago. Clemson with a 28-game winning streak on the line, but just needing a field goal to take the lead. And it's Ross on a slant, and he muscles for a first down across the 15.
Yeah, that play has not been there because of Okudah making great plays against Ross, and at times T. Higgins. His long arms, he's been able to reach around and knock those balls away. That time, a quick throw did not allow Okudah time to jump that. Tight coverage from Ohio State.
Lawrence again takes off. Takes a shot, makes another first down.
When he gets going downhill at 6'6", 220, he is a handful. He's delivering the blow to the oncoming tackler, the safety, that time Josh Proctor, who is a big hitter for Ohio State, 41.
Team that's been so dominant. They've delivered first and second round knockouts under serious duress. They fake it to Etienne. Lawrence steps up and delivers a strike across the middle. And it's Amari Rodgers who's still running. And he's down inside the 35. Waited all night to make a big play.
Chris, really interesting here to watch the quarterback work from his left and then patiently work through his progressions to his right. Watch his head. Eventually sees it's cover 3, sees the soft spot in the zone, and Rodgers works his way into that soft spot between the linebacker and the safety. And because he had the time to throw, he's able to recognize his third option.
Got 38 yards on his first catch tonight. They're already in fringe field goal range. And Lawrence, thought one, dumps it over the middle. Etienne in space. Etienne to the 10, Reeves, touchdown Tigers! A championship drive from the defending champs.
He's been running and running, and what does that do to the linebackers? They're going to come up to stop that quarterback run game. See him up here? Here is Etienne. He just sneaks behind that. Look, well designed, and there's Etienne in the open field again, where he's so dangerous.
And unlike Ryan Day, who did not go for 2, Dabo Swinney up 4. Has the offense on the field. Now they weren't quite ready to execute the 2-point conversion. There was some confusion, so they have to spend a timeout. But meanwhile, Travis Etienne has made an impact more as a receiver tonight. His second touchdown as a pass.
Can't get him going running the football, so they've had to turn to throwing it to him. And a couple times now he's been able to get out in space and do damage. But a great call by Clemson at the right time. After all the quarterback runs, they hit him with a play action.
Goodyear providing aerial coverage, recognizing those who strive to rise above the rest. Goodyear, more driven. The Ford post-game show coming up, including the trophy presentation here at the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. Off Etienne's second touchdown reception, the Tigers go for a 2-point conversion for the first time in 26 games. Not something they normally have to do, trying to build the lead to 6 inside of a minute 50. 94-yard touchdown drive on 4 plays. Empty backfield. Lawrence flushed, chased, fires to the end zone. Catch made by Higgins, and they convert the 2 and build the lead to 6. Once again, poise from Lawrence, who on the move found his favorite target.
And you might be thinking, what's the point? You know, you kick the extra point, you go up 4, you end up kicking, or go up 5, you end up going with the 2-pointer, you go up by 6. And the thing that's important to understand is if Ohio State scores a touchdown, they still have to kick an extra point. So it's better to be up by 6. Good job of improvising, holding onto that ball, giving T. Higgins a chance to work away from Okudah. There's that matchup again, 5 against 1. This time Higgins wins that battle. It's a long way from over. We still have some time, and Ohio State with 2 timeouts. We saw Trevor Lawrence answer the call. Now Justin Fields, who's had a great year, gets his chance.
And the 2 quarterbacks again who grew up 20 miles apart in Georgia. Lawrence, after a dominant season, tested, severely tested, and responding in that drive as a runner and a passer. And now Fields trying to stretch out those legs and put the Buckeyes in position to perhaps claim a victory and set themselves up for a championship game spot. And they'll have to begin from the 25-yard line, needing 75 yards. And here comes Justin Fields.
Justin Fields and especially Ryan Day pride themselves on their 2-minute. I talked to Brent Venables and I said, when we talked to the players from Clemson, who wins when you go good against good in a 2-minute? And it sounds like the Clemson defense wins more than they lose when they go against their own offense, good against good. Now they face Justin Fields. So it's strength against strength with 1:49 to go.
Dobbins to Fields right. Pressure, backpedals, flips it to Dobbins, who's got a block. Dobbins dragged down to the 39. Again, the perfect call against the blitz.
Yeah, they brought the blitz, brought the corner from that side. That is a perfect time to go to Dobbins. And that's a great answer to an aggressive defense. It's pinning their ears and bringing those backers.
This time they don't blitz, and Dobbins takes the easy money. Sideline route, 8 more. They're near midfield.
What a workhorse. Carried the ball so far 18 times tonight, dealing with that left ankle. He's ran for 174 yards and now 5 receptions as well. 23 touches in this game, showing a lot of heart.
Couple timeouts, plenty of time.
Able to get out of bounds.
2nd and 1. Do they perhaps take a downfield shot? They're thinking about it. Fields across the middle of the hill, and the reliable senior makes the catch at the Clemson 40.
They brought the 2 middle linebackers again. When you bring linebackers, it creates a vacancy behind them. Look at him sit in there, deal with that patiently, and make that throw.
Playing with tempo, they dump it down to Dobbins again, and he's open and scoots for a big first down gain. 9.
They may want to account for 2 coming out of that backfield. That's 3 times now. The screen and then 2 checkdowns where they've gotten Dobbins the football for positive yards.
36 seconds. That's all it's taken him to move to the Clemson 31.
And he's been able to get out of bounds, and they've been able to hold those 2 timeouts.
Fields, and he looked for Mack. Heavy contact on the sideline with Terrell, but the ball really not catchable. No flag.
Yeah, that's exactly what the official signaled, is uncatchable. Ball is underthrown. That were thrown in front of him. With Terrell making that kind of contact, you might have seen a flag, but official giving the sign that it was an uncatchable ball, Chris, as you said.
3rd and 1. Fields still has it. They tackled Dobbins, who didn't have the football, and the quarterback dives for a first down.
That's his read. He's reading Thomas, who ends up coming down, and he's able to pull around that. Boy, I think everybody in the stadium thought that J.K. Dobbins had the ball, but a great read by Fields.
54 seconds as Fields pump fakes. Can he escape? Yes. And he'll slide down with that brace. They began the slide at the 23, and that's where they'll spot the ball.
And Ryan Day runs out to use one of his 2 timeouts, not picking up the first down. They've got to call that timeout with 43 seconds left.
Man, Kirk, how great is what we're seeing tonight. All the ingredients were there. One team's won 28 in a row, dominated its conference. The other team won 19 in a row, all of them this season by double figures.
Yeah.
They've gone back and forth and tested each other mentally and physically.
Dabo Swinney rallying the troops, talking with Brent Venables. How about the job of Fields here just to keep this play alive? Nolan Turner gets off of J.K. Dobbins in pass protection, has his hands on it, but he pulls out of it. So instead of a 5 or 7 yard loss and a sack, shows that strength, Chris, you talked about it, picks up about 3 or 4 yards.
And again, it's going to come down apparently to a red zone possession for Ohio State. They moved the ball all over the place in the first half. Clemson's defense 3 times forced field goals down in the red zone. And now Ohio State, needing a touchdown, finds itself in a familiar position. This is pure strength on strength. The Buckeyes have been great up until tonight in the red zone. Urban Meyer looking on.
It's like he's still coaching.
Second down, Fields scans downfield, fires to the end zone. It's intercepted. Picked off by Nolan Turner. And the Tigers are not going to be dethroned tonight. They'll punch their ticket to New Orleans. Olave fell down. It was easy for Turner.
I think Olave miscommunicated with Fields. He ended up coming off of his route because it took so long for Fields to eventually give him a chance to throw the football. He's going to come from the outside and work to the middle because it takes so long for Fields. Watch Olave right here. The ball is thrown out here. Olave puts his foot in the ground and comes back the other way, thinking that maybe the quarterback's going to scramble. So he aborted the route. Turner has his eyes on the football, and Olave beat Turner earlier for a touchdown. And this time, Turner comes up with the answer in a game-winning interception.
Fields in disbelief when the man who threw one interception all season long has thrown 2 tonight. And Trevor Lawrence and the Tigers can take the field for victory formation. Ohio State can stop the clock only once. Dabo Swinney wrestling with Brent Venables, who was out of sorts. His defense confused on its back heels early tonight. But again, another stop with their backs near their own goal line. And Clemson's going to make it 29 in a row and head off to the city of New Orleans to take on LSU for a championship.
One of those games you almost feel like you hate to see either team lose. These teams left their heart on this field. They played great. Both teams dealt with adversity. Both teams dealt with momentum that was for them and against them. They just kept fighting to the end. And it comes down to one of the last plays of the game where Fields, as you said, one interception all year. He and Olave have had a big night. They had a touchdown earlier and just not quite on the same page. And Clemson wins.
Truly tested tonight. Trevor Lawrence, a dominant front runner all season. A come-from-behind hero tonight. A 94-yard game-winning touchdown drive. Travis Etienne, frustrated for much of the night, makes his second electric play as a receiver. What a battle.
These teams wanted a chance to prove themselves, and John Simpson, the left guard, overwhelmed with emotion, one of the captains of this team. This is what you play the game for. This is what you hope to be able to get on a stage for these kind of games. And boy, Fields and Dobbins played their hearts out.
You love to see the great teams tested. How will they respond? Clemson answer tonight. Let's go down to Maria.
Well, Coach, your offense had to march all the way down the field to get you the 6-point lead. Your defense had to step up to preserve it. How would you describe the poise you just watched in your team?
What you just said. Defense had to get a stop when we had to have it, and they got it. And then we came out there with 3 minutes, and we said, hey, let's go win the daggum game, man. I mean, let's make some plays. We've been saving that little play action to Travis the whole game, and just felt like it was the right time to call it right there, and it hit. So, man, first of all, this is how a championship game ought to be. I mean, unbelievable, the favor of God, first of all glory to God, but also the heart of Ohio State. I mean, what a football game. It's a shame somebody had to lose that game. I told Ryan, I mean, that Ohio State team, what an unbelievable game. That quarterback, the back, I mean, just those guys played their hearts out. But in the end, our guys showed what they're made of. You know, they got the heart of a champion. They got the eye of the tiger. And, man, the favor of God was just with us tonight. And I mean, just unbelievable. Amari been silent the whole game. And, man, I kept telling him, I was like, I'm telling you, you're going to make a play. And then I also, right before that last one, I told Nolan Turner, I said, don't be pouting. I said, you're going to make the interception and win this thing. And, I mean, it's just amazing to see it end like that. I'm just so proud of our team and our staff. Hard-fought game. We hung in there. You know, we're going to New Orleans. I guess we're playing LSU. So, let's go.
All right, it's 29 straight wins for this guy, Dabo Swinney. Congratulations, Coach.
Hey, thank you so much. To God be the glory.
Tom?
Thank you very much, Maria. Trevor, as we stood here, you just looked around, shook your head, trying to process what had just happened. How would you describe those last 60 minutes?
Just the fight, this team didn't play great, didn't look pretty, but just find a way to get it done. And I wouldn't want to do this with anyone else. And I have Ephesians 3:20, and it says, God can do immeasurably more than any of us can because of him within us. And that's just so true. I mean, all of us, me, what we did tonight, it ain't us. You know, it's about this program and who we are and just our brand. And, you know, it's more than about football, but I really love this team.
Your message to your guys when you took the field for what turned out to be the game-winning drive, what was it?
Let's go win it. Let's go win it. We were built for this. That's what we're waiting for. We get a chance to prove ourselves. Let's go do it. And there was no doubt. I told them, I love y'all. Let's lay it all out here right now. So that's all I said. And I mean, just
down 16-0. What was the turning point in this game?
We just playing sloppy, things that we don't usually do. And I mean, I think offensively and defensively, we both kind of got together separate and said, let's turn it on. You know, we played about as bad as we can play. Let's get it going. And just from then on, we just had each other's back. You know, offensively, we didn't play great at all in the first half, and defense kept holding them, even if it was just a field goal. Just kept holding them. And I mean, you see some of those drives, they had 3 field goals. If one of those was a touchdown, I mean, it's a way closer game. So it's just unbelievable.
Finally, real quick thought. The narrative all season was Clemson hasn't been tested. How'd you pass this test?
Shoot, we got tested. I think we passed. So we got one more left.
Well done. Well done. Isaiah, you heard that last question about how this team was tested. What did it take for this defense to rise up?
The main thing I would say is definitely just heart. Without heart, none of this would have been able to be possible. And it just shows the fight that our guys had. Nobody gave up. Nobody lost sight of what we wanted to do, even when we faced adversity, even though we haven't seen anything like that all year. So also just the leadership. The leadership helped out a lot, too, just with the young guys and just helping them get their minds right to be prepared to what we had in front of us.
Go and celebrate with your guys. Congratulations, Isaiah.
Sir, thank you.
Another reminder that Lawrence, until tonight, had never taken a snap as starting quarterback with his team behind. The 94-yard touchdown drive delivers another shot at a title. It'll be the tussle of the Tigers, and Clemson's going to take the field in New Orleans. 741 days since their last loss with a 29-game streak. Sign me up for that one. Clemson on LSU.
Yeah, that'll be a great game. But I don't think we've been talking about it here. I don't think we could have asked for much more from these two teams. They played great. Both of them got into some uncomfortable areas and showed a lot of fight to be able to get back eventually in a position to win the game. And even Ohio State, you know, they weren't out of it really until that final interception.
A lot more post-game coverage, reaction here in Glendale. And we'll talk about the Tigers versus the Tigers in NOLA. The post-game show is coming up. But let's go to Scott Van Pelt in our studio. Scott.
Harvey, Chris, thank you very much.
The Ford postgame is brought to you by the Ford F-150. The Ford postgame is brought to you by the Ford F-150. Built Ford tough. Postgame.
So Clemson, with a 29th consecutive win, puts itself in position now to play for a third championship in the fourth year. The Clemson veterans now win their 10th ring with a chance to go for number 11 and yet another trophy in New Orleans. Pretty nice trophy about to be presented right now. Let's go to Reese Davis.
Good evening, everybody, and what a football game we just saw. Hard-hitting, tough, and Clemson assumes a place it's been a lot on a trophy stand right now. Here to present the trophy for winning the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl and representing the Fiesta Bowl is the chairman of the board, Patrick Barkley, the executive director, Mike Neely, and here representing PlayStation is the senior vice president of global marketing, Eric Lempel. So let's hand out some hardware to some guys who are used to getting it. What do you say, Patrick?
That'd be wonderful. On behalf of the College Football Playoff and the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, congratulations to both teams. It was a wonderful game. It is our honor to present this PlayStation trophy to Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers.
Dabo, how would you describe the test that your team passed tonight? Not just winning the game, backed up, late, needing a drive, then needing a stop.
Well, that's what they've done for 29 games in a row. It's our 29th win in a row. We scored 29 points. They didn't do anything tonight that I didn't already know. Unbelievable character and heart and a will to win. And that's the one thing I told them is they can prepare for what we do, but not who we are. Our heart would win out in the end. 94-yard drive to win it. We got to stop right there. And let me just tell you, Ohio State was amazing. What an amazing team, an amazing challenge. But this football team tonight showed what the heart of a champion looks like. To win 29 in a row, you got to have something to you, and you saw what they're made of tonight. Unbelievable game. Probably got some pretty good ratings on TV, but let me just tell you, to God be the glory, every single bit of it.
I want you to take me inside what you were thinking when the final pass was in the air, headed toward your end zone, win or lose, and Nolan Turner makes a play.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what I was thinking. I told Nolan right after we scored, I said, that's why you don't put your head down. It ain't over. And I said, you're going to get the interception to win this game. That's what I told him. So I was looking for him to make the interception.
Dabo, congratulations going for your second straight national championship, third in 4 years. Congratulations, my friend. All right. Hey, let's hand out some individual awards to the players of the game.
Offensive player is Trevor Lawrence.
And no big surprise here, Trevor Lawrence, the offensive player of the game. Trevor, congratulations. What changed in this game after you took the big hit? You were down, you were out of play, and when you came back, it was as if that the hit made you angry or something.
Yeah, you're right. I just got kind of mad, and you know, like I said, it wasn't pretty. We didn't play our best for sure, but just the heart of this team, being able to grind one out like that, and like Coach Swinney said, I mean, Ohio State, it's a really good team, a great team, and they fought with everything they had until the last second. So hats off to them, but just this will that this team has, the love we have for each other, I had no doubt, but it's really cool to see us be able to pull one out like that.
Man, you were dual threat all night, and particularly on the final drive, too. Take me through the last couple of plays on that drive.
It's whatever it takes to win. You know, I'm not labeled as a runner, but I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. And I told these guys, I'm going to leave it all out here for y'all. Win or lose, I'm not going to have anything left. So I wanted to do that. And then, obviously, on that last play, Travis, just getting him the ball, and he did the rest.
You looked like a runner on that 67-yarder you had tonight, my friend. Congratulations. Great performance tonight again from Trevor Lawrence, but the defense had to come up big, too.
Absolutely. Defensive player of the game is Chad Smith.
Chad Smith. Come on in here, Chad. A dozen tackles tonight. What was it like for you? Dabo said he knew you were going to get the stop at the end. What was it like for you guys on that last drive?
Oh, man, hats off to Ohio State. They got a good plays on us a few times, and we just had an unending belief, this team. We knew we were going to get that stop at the end, and we just believed in each other, and we got it done.
What does this say about this team now? An opportunity to go back-to-back national championships, perhaps win your third in 4 years.
Coach Swinney has a saying, it's only unthinkable if you don't think it. So, I mean, we have a belief in this team. We believe in each other. We care about each other. And you know, it's crazy. It's unreal. We're going back to another natty. It's unbelievable.
It's not unbelievable because you guys do this a lot. Congratulations, Chad. A tremendous performance tonight and all kinds of things at stake. The #1 seed against the #3 seed for the national championship, but that can wait as Clemson celebrates this tremendous victory tonight against Ohio State. Chris.
Reese, thank you. It's a unique position in sports. You get a trophy, you get some rings, you get some confetti in your hair, but the job is far from done. You just put yourself in position to go after the ultimate victory. There were 3 dominant teams in the sport this year. LSU took care of business. We saw the 2 battle tonight.
And they all 3 played that way tonight. They had separated themselves coming into today, and all 3 played like champions today. Dabo, we said it even before he came on. Really, it's tough to see any team lose this game the way they battled, but Clemson deserves it. They showed the heart of a champion and made the play there at the end to win the game.
A couple weeks and a couple days to regroup. Clemson will be underdogs again. LSU an early field goal favorite in the Superdome. Much more post-game coverage, and Scott Pelt will rejoin you right after this quick break.